D2E tune from Ballarat to Wendouree. You're never too far from a D2E, as it's round 10 action in the Ballarat Free League. Redan hosting Lake Wendouree here, as it's 9th versus 10th. Redan looking to make it back-to-back wins. Lake Wendouree looking for their first win in 27 attempts in the Ballarat Football League. Sam Young, Sam Treasure bringing all the action live, and for One Life Insurance, Roger Legrand joins us in the box, boys. Really excited to see two young sides in age profile go head-to-head this afternoon, Roger, but also to see how much growth even Redan, we've seen Redan once this season, they've made in a few weeks, and where Lakers are all about in the flesh.
Absolutely. Today's I came to the ground today, despite the ladder positions, really looking forward to the contest. And Redan are going to go from being the hunter to the hunted. So how do they actually handle that? You heard Liam Hoy say even they were surprised by the early season round 1 result when they thrashed Lake Wendouree. So I think they would come here today going, this is not going to be the walkover that others might expect. On the Lakers' end, obviously the injuries are the killer. So we've just learnt, and the breaking news is that Antonak is out. He's going to play VFL footy in Queensland. He, of course, is a established VFL player, and certainly one of the Lakers A-graders. So that's really going to hurt them today, on top of the loss of Fordham, who, as you heard in the pre-game with Ron Brown, is going to be out for the rest of the season as well. So they hurt. But, on the other hand, it gives someone else an opportunity, and that's the old cliche, and they have got a young side. They've got an exciting story in Kai Swartz stepping up to play his first game for the Lakers this afternoon after coming from a basketball background, as seems to be the case these days, and Pendlebury, Bontempelli and other examples from the AFL suggest that as well. So I'm really keen to see. And Rowan Brown, he's a very positive coach. He's a very resilient coach, and the statistics over the last 4 weeks suggest they have been improving. That is in terms of forward 50 entries, clearances, even without Tom Zambatti. So I think Lakers would come here today thinking, well, if we're going to win a game between now and the end of the season, let's make it this one.
Well, the one thing you can't take away from Lakers in season 2026 is effort, boys. I mean, they rank 7th in tackles, where Redan rank last. So they rank 4th in centre clearance, where Redan rank last. 7th in clearance overall to 10th in Redan. So there's opportunity to get on top of the midfield. There's opportunity to tackle hard and chase. I mean, the argument is you don't have the footy, you got to apply more tackles. I get that.
Everyone
afternoon. They can bring the effort, bring the heat, particularly for the opening half of footy. Make it a bit of a scrapper, then you never know. But Sammy T there.
Has a basketball background. He's wearing 26 for anyone in their cars today. We've also got 53, James Clark, making his debut there. And the other debutant is Connor Blythe, who will be wearing number 42 for the Lakers. A special occasion for them today. Hopefully they can settle the nerves early and perhaps have a 1%er or even kick a goal or do something which will easily settle the nerves and help them fit in.
Players out on the ground, which means our man Tristan Ashmore has made his way out on the ground to assess conditions here at the City Oval, Tris.
Pitch looks absolutely immaculate, apart from a bit of mud in the goal squares and in the centre. It looks absolutely unreal. But, as always, Ballarat, if you closed your eyes and pictured a cold winter's day of footy in Ballarat, it's what you'd get.
Thank you very much, Tristan Ashmore. Is there any wind down there, though?
Yeah, a little bit of a breeze. There was a bit of a shower about half an hour ago, but it's pretty good conditions for footy today.
Oh, yeah, not too much to do too much damage from the sound of things, but yeah, it is a typical cold, wet day.
10 years ago, Youngie, or 15 years ago, this would have been a bog. You wouldn't have been able to pick a player from either side in terms of jumper, and everyone would have walked off afterwards thinking, why do we still play footy? Come here today after, a week of wet weather, and it's like a bowling green.
Well, it's a wonderful ground. That's why it's hosted the last few years, the grand finals in the Ballarat Footy League. It's a beautiful setup here at the City Oval, and yeah, despite being 9th versus 10th, the ground's in great nick, and we should hopefully get a good contest of footy.
Absolutely, and I think that, as I said, it'll be very interesting to see the way Redan approach this. Do they go, this should be a walk in the park, or do we go, hang on a second, let's really make a statement to the league. Let's make it 2 in a row. It'll be a while since Redan's won 2 in a row.
It would be a while since they've won a couple in a row. But one thing they've been able to get right for the majority of the year in the mark, Greg, is their starts. So they're 4-5 in first quarters and 4-5 in second quarters. But in the comparison to Lake Wendouree, they're 1-8 and 2-7. So that tells me that the Redan are fast starters, Lakers a slow burn. But then you look at even further at the stats, Lake Wendouree only won or have yet to win a quarter in the second half in season 2026. So that's
Wow.
going to be the focus for them, is to try and finish their games a little bit better against a fast-starting Redan.
And it's those momentum swings that we spoke about with Rowan Brown, isn't it? So the ability for other sides, as Clint Proctor did last week, to kind of swing the magnets around and get a run on 4 or 5 goals in a row, and that's what seems to deflate the Lakers. So if they take nothing else out of the rest of the season or the second half of the season, it's got to be, okay, let's not let these run-ons happen against us, because it's having a significant impact on that final score.
Redan, they may not play finals themselves, Roger, sitting in ninth, but they can certainly throw some stones at that top 6, and they can really shake up this ladder, especially those last 3 positions you see on the ladder. If Redan can jab a few here and there, they can really make amends there, can't they, Youngie?
Yeah, and it's the continuity with the top, when they get the top talent available. So, like, having Rory Gunser, back from the VFL, Lockie Bond available full time, Jacob Wirtz missed a fair bit of the season through injury, Brody Pope's missed a fair bit of the season through injury. So, getting those top line players back in certainly helps them out. Will Madden as an inclusion as well. Like, I feel like you're right, and especially in these sort of conditions where it's a little bit greasy, probably brings the skill level to no disrespect down to their level a bit more, boys. I think you can make it a bit of a scrap, and Redan is good starters. They can get a couple of goal lead on some sides. They might be hard to chase down.
And they've had their own issues with changes at the selection table. So even their side this week had 6 changes.
Yeah.
So they brought in Catley, Crellin, Mason, McDougall, Lockie Clark and Grant Bell. Lost a few of the Rebels boys. Lost Connolly, who's been very good for them. So whilst we talk about, Lakers having their challenges with injuries, Redan certainly have theirs as well, and Mason and McDougall in particular. So this is McDougall's second senior game and Mason's third. So they're certainly not a lot more experienced at Lake Wendouree. They're probably played a little bit more footy together.
Certainly right, Roger. As we look at the players warming up, the coin toss has been done down the middle. Tristan Ashford, did you keep an eye on that for us?
I believe Redan won the toss. We're kicking to the left, but we'll have to confirm that in a minute.
Yeah, the Pleasant Street end for all those playing at home with their radio dial. So it looks like Shaky Woods had the early win. Roger LeGrand, I'm interested in your thoughts for the Sporting Globe Player of the Day today. Is there a key standout in mind for you who gets it today?
Well, the cream always rises to the top. So when you're looking at the 2 teams out there today and you go, well, who are the A graders that are out on field? And there's a handful for each. So Corey Rich, obviously, from the Lakers' point of view, I think Sam Treasure said before, he's played at multiple VFL clubs, come from the very strong Ovens and Murray League. Sam Young mentioned that he had 45 possessions 2 weeks ago in a game. So from a Lakers' point of view, if they were to do well, I think he would be really up there. And then it's the regular candidates at Redan. So Rory Gunser, Will Madden was very impressive on his return last week, and then perhaps some of those younger players, Brody Pope. Well, he's probably not so young, but Lockie Clark, those kind of characters that I reckon will be right in the mix for that Sporting Globe Player of the Day.
What do you think, Sammy T?
Oh, well, I'm excited to see our Rogers, of course, as that power today in the Sporting Globe Player of the Day in the
Swiss Army knife.
Special comments chair for One Life Insurance. Yeah, it's a good one, Youngie, and Roger's right. There's a lot of talent out there. I'm excited to see Corey Rich, as he mentioned, and also Alfred Yarnestrom, another one with VFL experience. Of course, we haven't seen a Lake Wendouree game this year, so there's a lot of talent that I'm looking forward to see today. From Redan's point of view, you mentioned Ollie Pittard earlier. I think he's been in the best 7 times this year. He's having an absolutely phenomenal season, and he's only about 20 years old, isn't he? He's really going to be one that Redan are going to want to keep as we go. Will Madden, another one you mentioned before, of course, new recruit. He is expected to do really well. Lots of high stocks on him. I'm looking forward to see just how he distributes the footy today. Some other ones, Harry Lawson, he's actually Redan's leading possession getter this year. He's only 1 year out of 18.5s. He's another young one that Redan have got. And they've got a lot of young talent, Redan, haven't they? When I was going through the team list, doing some homework last night, there's 4 or 5 of them just out of that 18.5s age bracket that are all pretty much solidified senior players that are really the hope and the future for Redan, aren't they?
Yeah, and then you look at a guy like Harry Lawson, like he made his debut around the same time as Jonty Fall, and see where Jonty's gone to in the AFL. So that's brought him through young and have developed him for a number of years to now get him to be, as you said, even first year 18s, bona fide senior footballers. For me, I'm looking at improvement inside defensive 50. The last time these two sides met, Lockie Bond had his way. He kicked 5 or 6. I think Tarch Bond also kicked 4 or 5. So the tools were a real issue on a dry day. Lake Wendouree can see more marks inside 50 than anyone in the competition by, not by a little bit, by a lot. So I think I want to see if they've made some improvements behind the footy there with Tim Malone as defensive coach, and see if they can stop a guy like Lockie Bong off the chain. Otherwise, he'll be the Sporting Globe player. They no doubt about it, and kick a bag full here.
From all the key statistics, Lake Wendouree do average more clearances a game than Redan. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. It's 35 playing 33. So,
and that's even without Sam Paddy in recent weeks, who's been the dominant ruckman of the league.
Yeah, so if they can get hands first on the footy and extract it, have good looks inside 50, especially early on, then who knows? Maybe they're in for the upset.
We're ready to go here on 3 Days Footy's home ground. Thanks to our number one ticket holder, D2E Gyms. From Ballarat coming to Wendouree, you're never too far from a D2E. The kick is off here at the beautiful City Oval. It's Redan versus Lake Wendouree, and here is the national one, Sam Troja.
Thanks, Gungy. Well, it's been 665 days since Lake Wendouree last triumphantly sung the song for Redan. Well, they're looking to go back-to-back for the first time in season 2026. A great opportunity beckons straight out of the middle. It's Lake Wendouree through Anderson, who's able to get the clearance, sends it inside 50 towards the right forward pocket. Tracking hard is Barker for Redan. Can't quite pick it up cleanly. Footy's loose on the ground. A Lake Wendouree player just knocks it on. Coming through some Redan penalties, but picked up by O'Connell. Has a good look at the sticks. He's kicked it across the face, unfortunately for him, for a boundary throw. And a good look there, though, early. Roger for one life insurance out of the middle.
Love the side of that, and Lakers fans would too. So winning clearance, shot on goal early. Interesting that Pittard started in the goal square at Redan end. So traditionally we've come to know him as a wingman. He's gone forward early.
Yeah, the deepest forward to start, but Lakers have the early territory inside forward 50. Madden doing the ruck work for Redan, and then just hacks it off the deck towards the boundary line. Be careful it doesn't go for that lasso free kick. Lakers able to keep it alive for the moment through Conlon, but in the end, he's caught in the tackle and will get a boundary thrown as a trickle out of his hands. So inside 50, still opening minute here at the City Oval. Lakers at the attacking end towards that Pleasant Street end. Shallow throw in favours Clark, who will get the knockdown. Ricochet's back in his direction. The Lakers retreating in the direction they're trying to find the hand pass there to Todd. He was able to pick it up in the end. He'll come away with it. Here's Redan through Gunser. His ball inside showed a bit too much. Conlon should have gobbled up. He didn't. In the end, he had to provide the role of defender and apply the tackle. Just the attacking side of the centre ground on the broadcast side.
Enjoying the contest work early from Lake Wendouree. They're here to play early.
So at the restart, neither ruckman could really palm it down cleanly. Carroll went in for Redan. Just slapped on now as they've advanced it about 5 metres from the stoppage. Clark went in, Cruiser Royaltis was riding his hammer, and Carroll's able to get the clear and kick for the Lions. Went about 25 metres, couldn't quite hold the mark. Was a Lake Wendouree player. It was Jarnestrom, although coming out with it was Will Clark, who just eloquently was able to extract, although Anderson couldn't quite take the mark, had to slap it on under pressure. Now Redan regained possession through Gunser. Gunser lays off a handball and Redan go inside 50 for the first time today. Pittard working in front, can't quite work off his man. Bond's in there, taking in a strong James tackle. Umpire said play on. Now the umpire will come in and say, that's my footy, I'm going to ball it up about 45 metres out from Redan's goal.
How about those two balls? Cooper James and Lockie Bond. There's some size in the gym about
Big
those
boys.
two. Some meaty boys. One in the ruck there by Lockie Bond doing the ruck work. On the fly was Daniel Bond. He couldn't gather. Umpires picked a free kick for a hold. It's going to go the way of the Lakers. Inside the fence and coming out of the fence there will be Jarnestrom with a left foot kick towards the other side. Fisted away by the Redan defence there, and Jordan Grant out of bounds. It will go. Right there, attacking side of half forward for Redan. No scores registered on the Metro scoreboard. We played almost 3 minutes in the opening turn.
So the question early is how brave are Lake Wendouree going to be with their ball movement? We saw the one attempt to cut across the ground there. It failed. Are they going to keep doing that today? We'll see.
So 55 metres out from Redan's goals. Madden's going to be in the ruck. Neither ruckman really won it. Anderson went swooping in and he's tackled immediately by Brodie Pope. Of course, Redan's best and fairest last year and trained with Williamstown in the off-season. He's a real star for the Lions. As the umpire wasted no time, got it back underway, but he's going to be required again. O'Connell spun in the tackle, of course. O'Connell, the co-captain, he's won their best and fairest the last 2 years, and the award's actually named after his father, Peter, who's legend of the club.
Absolutely great player for the Lakers was Peter in his day.
As it'll be Redan trying to get the extraction here through Mortlock, the man who kicked the winning goal last week. His handball was just into neutral territory in the corridor. Only man to pick it up was Clark off the Lakers. He dumps towards centre half forward. Back with courage was worse. Dropped his bundle though. Stoppage probably going to be the eventual result, although the umpire let it roll on. Opportunity for the Lakers inside 50. Hand pass off. Right foot kick towards the goal face. came there from the Lakers and from Jared in the end. He's just snuck it through for a minor score. The first one of the day is a blemish. It goes the way of the Lakers.
Good start from the Lakers, enjoying that ball movement and certainly winning contest and clearance at this point in time. So Redan starting out of the blocks a little bit slow. They've got a bit to do, but certainly O'Connell been very prominent. Rich, obviously one of those A-graders we spoke about before the game, has had his share of the ball early. And yeah, tails are up at Lake Wendouree.
So Lawson, Van had to go and retreat the footy. It almost ended up at Peel Street. So that man Lawson, who is their leading possession getter this year, goes to a contest looking for Carroll. Couldn't quite hold on at first attempt. Clark down for Lake Wendouree is able to release a kick while under pressure. Footy in dispute. Anderson went in for Lake Wendouree. Couldn't pick it up cleanly, which is going to be tough in these wet, dire conditions. Now going in, they're able to just get a little bit of ball movement, but it's not clean. And Brodie Pope's going to pick up for Redan and kick the ball 30 metres to about 60 metres out to a leading Pittard, who just couldn't quite get it. Tried to pick it up on the half volley. Now he taps it in front of himself. Has a bump with his opposition. Now the ball working close to the boundary line. A Lake Wendouree defender has hacked it out, and that is a lasso playing close with the boundary line. Was Yana Strom, and coming the other way.
Low percentage move that was.
McDougall go inside 50, Bond the target. Too tall for him. Pittard waiting down. This time it's off his bootlace. And now it's inside forward 50, so it won't be a lasso free kick. We'll get a boundary throw in. Inside 50 for Redan. Opportunity for them to get their own territory. We played 5 minutes. 1 point on the Metro scoreboard leads the Lakers over the Lions. Yet the scorers will go with the shallow ball in. Side 50. Bond with the tap. Coming through is Pittard. Right foot kick on the goal face. Is across the face. Again, not registering a score. Might have even been touched by the defender there from Lake Wendouree, and Parkinson just getting back on the last line of the defence. But we're going to ball in deep inside 50 still for the Lions.
He's a real hard worker, Ollie Pittard. It's going to be good to see how he goes about his business today. Former Ballarat grammar student, as boundary throwing in a dangerous spot for Redan, about 20 metres out from goal. It favoured the Lake Wendouree ruckman Clark, although the kick out from James fell to a Redan forward, who has a snap at goal and kicks it.
Grant Bell,
who's back in the side this week, the veteran, has kicked the first of the day for the Lions, and it's a beauty.
So just dangerous, needed to be better in that situation. Lakers, Cooper James it was. He had more time than he knew. He hurried the kick out, only went about 10 metres straight to Grant Bell, who just marked it comfortably, played on immediately from about 20 metres out and kicked the goal. Just got to protect the ball a little bit. A couple of signs early, so we saw Jarnstrom do exactly the same thing, kicked it off the ground and gave up the footy to a lasso when he didn't need to. Hold the footy, force the stoppage. That's what they need to do early.
Well said by Roger Legrand for One Life Insurance as we're back underway here at the City Oval. Neither ruckman really could get dominance. Clark will give the points to the tap, but we'll get another ball up from the restart. Played 6.5 minutes in the opening term. It's Redan by 5 points to the Metro scoreboard. Madden with the tap coming through will be stolen by Redan and Pope, and again another stoppage. So a lot of this afternoon, you imagine. You can throw a blanket over a good 12 to 14 players around the contest at all times. We'll go again in the middle. Madden tried to take it in the air. In the end, it bounced his left foot kick go towards half forward. The Lions trying to rush it forward. McDougall unable to gather. Spills forward now for Redan with a right foot kick from Will Madden. Into space for Gunson. Now he's a left footer. If it sits up for him, he's on his natural side to find the target. Spearing ball towards full forward, looking for Bond. And well played by James. Out pointed him in the air. Took a nice strong mark on his chest.
So Cooper James was resolute there. He's got a short chipping ball. In fact, he might have bit off more than he can chew. Looking for Clark. It might work out. Having to just clear the area was Walsh. And he sent a 50-metre dummy kick, which has left Lake Wendouree's defensive 50 for now, though they're going to come back. Here's Madden for Redan. Handball over the top to Bichelle. Got it back to Madden, who now sends it towards centre half forward to a 2-on-2. Clark, well done. Wet, slippery conditions, good hands. Takes the mark in defence for Lake Wendouree.
Good strong mark by Will Clark, being one of their prime movers for the last couple of seasons. Go with the long ball down the line to centre wing on the other side. Virtually opposite our broadcast position. Mark should be paid, and is. Nice strong grab. Good lead up target. And the Lakers can look to try and access the corridor maybe. It's be interesting to see how ambitious they are with their ball movement from here now as they try to build things up. High ball down the line towards that half-forward flank region. Redan with the numbers. Big spot back there came from Madden, the ruckman. Inside with the hand pass to go to Redan. They try to access the corridor. Bushell on the ground ball was almost stolen by Clark, and it is. Umpires say high contact, free kick. It will go the way of Will Clark and the way of the Lakers.
So Clark sends it inside 50 for Lake Wendouree. He has a target, just couldn't quite hold on. I think it's Wiltshire. Gets a handball off, kicks it to the debutant. You can have a look at the goals, can't quite. Now we're at a dangerous spot at the top of the square. He almost could have had a shot there, young James Clark, in his first game. About 45 out, but Send it towards the top of the screen. It spills out the back for a behind. That reads the score now. 0-2 Lake Wendouree to 1 straight Redan 6.
So Lawson, the gunster, as they move towards centre wing, the broadcast side, finds the goal kicker and Bell. So true centre wing broadcast side, Grant Bell with it. Has Lawson with the drive-by, ignores that. Wants to go down the line to a one-on contest. Pittard, knew the drop zone better. It was split at the back. Lakers with the numbers. Todd's hand pass was broken up there by Pittard. Picked up there by Walsh of the Lakers. He high ball down the line. Madden could take the mark, weighing down with Guns for the crumbs. Look away hand pass. Showed a bit to be desired, but Redan with numbers should work this out towards the broadcast side centre wing to find Grant Bell. He retreats to Lawson. Handball's a bit hot. He's caught the tackle, and the pressure is up by the Lakers early here, Roger LeGrand, as they hold territory here, true centre wing broadcast side.
Yeah, tackling's been a feature of their game early. Certainly Will Clark and O'Connell setting a standard for their team.
Logan Clark for the Lakers unequivocally wins that hit, but it wasn't to advantage. Pope swoops in, taking in a strong tackle, and in fact he's been tripped. Free kick. I thought maybe the umpire was going to pay holding the footy, but Brody Pope, the Horsham local, is the beneficiary. Has a short option in the corridor, which is Gunser. Put a bit too much air on it. Clark was able to get a fist in for the Lakers. They're 50 metres out from goal. Here is Clark. Picks it up. Has a few leading options in the left forward pocket. He's a scrubby ball along the ground. Tracking after it is Wiltshire. Just lays off the handball. Gets it to Walsh, who can send, in fact it's Cuts, can send it into the left forward pocket. No one can mark. Ball's out the back. An opportunity might beckon here if they can just pick it up cleanly, although Redan resolutely just spoil it across the line for a behind.
That left foot of Will Clark's is a weapon. I know we haven't seen anything of Lake Wendouree this season, but it's on show today. He's a beautiful left foot kick. 3
points on the Metro scoreboard, the way of Redan.
Boys, Bailey McKay's just come off with what looks to be a right shoulder injury, so I'll keep you updated on that.
As Lawson goes to broadcast side, dropping the mark there was Daniel Bond, opens the door inside 50. Here's Clark with a dangerous left boot, kicks on line. No, it's faded to the left and a minor score. The fourth behind in the opening term, the way of Lake Wendouree. They trail Redan in 1 straight 6.
They're certainly having their chances, aren't they, Sam Treasure? Like 3 or 4 shots on goal that could easily have been kicked.
They are, Roger. They've kicked 4 behinds, and some of them really could have been goals. As Gunser at centre half back for Redan, sends it towards the middle for Daniel Bond, who got in front and took a really strong mark. And Redan could be on here. Lockie Bond is forward. Bond, he just gives a handball to the run of Gunser, who kept going, and it was a great option because he's able to find a teammate who can put this towards the top of the square if he wants to. Madden's there. He can. It spills out the back, though, and it's missed everyone. It's bowled a few bodies, and it's ended up going through the behind post for a minor score. That reads 1-1-7. Redan leading the Lakers by 3 points, just the 4 there on the Metro scoreboard. And
that would have been deflating, wouldn't it, to have all the play in your forward 50.
They have looked
have it go quickly up the other end and turn it over. Dangerous here.
Yeah, Yarnsham with a short pass, but in the end, it all ends well. The mark's taken on the juggling attempt there by Anderson, but he definitely showed plenty of it. Anderson, that raking left boot will come broadcast side, high ball. Fish from the side came from Lawson. From Redan to bring it towards the boundary line, out of bounds. It does go. 12 minutes gone, opening term. Redan by 3 points on the Metro scoreboard. Harry Lawson doing fine things behind the footy. Had a great game last week, Roger. I think it was 35.
Genuine leader, isn't he, out there in the field for Redan?
Yes, the Kyneton Jr., as we're back underway, shallow throw-in. Neither ruckman could get to it. They had to get to it on the half volley, and in that case, it spills back out towards the boundary line for another boundary throw-in off no boot. So,
Youngie, I reckon Rowan Brown would be pretty happy with the opening 10 minutes. Just slightly behind the scoreboard, but intent, contest, tackling, all would be, meeting the barometer at this stage.
Effort's there.
So, out of the ruck, Clark is able to just pick it up. It just fell into his lap. He was able to use Rich nicely, and Rich can run. He got goal side. Kicks to a one-on-one inside 50 for the Lakers. Good in there was Carroll, who's able to just hack one off the deck for Redan, gets it out to a teammate in Elliot Bichelle, who's able to get a boot towards Catley, who now can go over the top and finds Mortlock, and Redan get out of danger just for now. Mortlock with a dangerous-ish ball in the middle. Bursting off his line was Walsh for Lake Wendouree. Came running through. I thought he maybe got tripped. Umpire said play on. He managed to advance the ball 20 metres. It's fell into his lap. He can go again. Although he decides to just pop it up to the top of the square. Although mark from Redan. No. Umpire said play on. Can they get a boot to ball? Oh, someone did, but it's missed to the right. So that's 5 behinds now for Lake Wendouree. 5 playing 7 on the Metro scoreboard, but geez, they've created the chances, Youngie.
As the rain's starting to set in a bit more here at the City Oval. We'll try to get down to Tristan Ashmore for a minute for an update on Bailey McKay, but Redan hanging on here. They lead by 2 points, 5 behinds where the Lakers on the Metro scoreboard, the 1-1-7, as we Again, Lawson using this broadcast side as his designated area. He goes for his full run. Right foot kicks in the direction of Daniel Bonds. Very close to the line. Couldn't hang on with the slippery ball. Keeps it alive as it bounces towards Catley. Hacked in the line by the lines as they gain some vital territory and get it out of the defence, which has been under siege. Opportunity on centre wing to rush it forward. It's broken up there by Anderson of the Lakers. His little raking hand pass ends up here with James. Right foot kick from the Lake Wendouree Lords. Centre half forward. Fisted from the side there by Wilshire, bring it to ground. Wirtz waiting down, will just dump it out of the fence with a bit of a chaos ball. Comes back with interest. O'Connell's kick was smothered. Wirtz did well. And in the end, Redan will get out towards the other side.
So Redan, they can really push here. Kicking inside 50, looking for Madden. Got nudged off it nicely by his direct opponent, Parkinson. Parkinson can go in there, although the Redan player was able to beat him to it and just go off the ground. Pittard has it. Squares the ball towards a dangerous spot, 30 metres out. Who can crumb? Lake Wendouree players dive on it now. I don't think that'll be holding the footy. There's no prize. So we get a ball up just 20 metres out from Redan's goal, pretty much directly in front, maybe just left of centre. Roger Legrand.
So real bold ball movement at the moment for Redan. That's come up a couple of times, others it hasn't, but they're moving the ball from one end to the other pretty well.
Madden dumps in the tackle. We're 25 metres out from the goal face as it's in dispute. At the back here, waiting for the footy for the Lakers was Parkinson with the dribbling kick. It won't clear defensive 50 for the moment. Redan with some numbers, big tackle applied. Umpire says, give it to me, I'll throw it in the air, as it is absolutely bucketing down now here at the City Oval. Our man Tristan Ashmore, you've been keeping a close eye on Bailey McKay.
Yeah, he's yet to re-emerge from the bench, boys. That right shoulder still a concern. Hopefully they'll strap it back up and he'll get back out.
So Madden wins the hit out, got it to Bond. Bond was quickly tackled, so couldn't get away a kick at goals. Was able to get away a handball though. Picking up now for Redan. Looks like it might be Bashalub. Mark got in front, no, couldn't quite hold on. Waiting down low was Bond, just couldn't quite get enough purchase on the footy for it to go all the way home. And now players dive on each other and a bear-hugging tackle for a ball up just about 5 metres out from Redan's goal.
Big chance for Redan here.
So Bond doing the ruck work against Clark. Hacked off the deck, coming through was Cruiseradas. Was it touched? Yes, it was. He must have been a fan of this morning. I reckon Cruiseradas might have been up at 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning like the rest of us watching the Socceroos. He acted out of mid-air, but it got touched, and it's a minor score.
So 15 minutes in, Lakers just need to maintain this intensity, maintain this tackling pressure, and hold the ball.
So the experienced Jana Strom goes out. Very key defender he is. 34 VFL games formerly with Frankston. He goes out to his ruckman in Clark, and Clark goes long down the line to a contest. And in fact, did anyone touch that? Because if they didn't, it's a lasso. No, it's a boundary throw-in out of play. So on true centre wing here on the grandstand side of City Oval, the rain is becoming palpable now. It's getting quite heavy. It's Redan here by 2 points.
True centre wing broadcast side. Clark been good in the ruck. Madden got the tap with his foot, if you don't mind. So is it a possession or a hit out? I don't know. Ball in dispute will be seen over the line again. And this has been a tale of the opening term. Roger Legrand, a real arm wrestle.
And suiting Lakers, Sam Young. So suiting their style of play, they're winning contest, they're tackling strong, they're dominating inside 50s. They've just got to hold it.
Madden takes out the ruck, hat kick forward. Now this goes out of bounds. That'll be a lasso, which it is. Free kick will go the way of Lake Wendouree. They trail by 3 points on the Metro scoreboard, but you're right, Roger Legrand, as they roll that high half forward up as an extra midfielder, they keep it in tight, and Jarnstrom's been good off half back.
So Jarnstrom, kick was very precise to Rich. So two of the experienced players working together there for the Lakers. And Rich goes one more long down the line. It ends up being to a one-on-one. Couldn't quite get in front was Clark, and now Redan regather for now, but the opportunity just passes to release the footy in there, wrapped up for a ball up. Still on true centre wing, slightly forward towards Lake Wendouree's goal as Madden wins a hit down for Redan, but coming through was Anderson for Lake Wendouree, who had a defender on his hammer, was able to get away a handball though. Here's O'Connell, spun in the tackle, did the ring of Rosie, but was able to release Raven. So Raven kicks forward for Lake Wendouree inside 50, and working off his man beautifully was a Lake Wendouree forward who is 50 metres out, decides to play on, has a look at the goals. It's Corey Rich, and it's home. Corey Rich, well done. He used the stand rule to his advantage, just played on, and from tucked up deep in the left forward pocket, 45 metres out, just slots one home, and Lake Wendouree have their first after many behinds. They now get that first goal, which is also important. That's 1-5-11 Lake Wendouree, leading Redan 1-2-8.
Gee, we're seeing enough in the first 5-10 minutes 15 minutes, in fact, to suggest Corey Rich is a very classy player, isn't he? They're just that finish in the wet. You've heard Sam Young and Sam Treasure say it's teeming down rain. He marked it like it was a dry day, played on immediately from outside, 50 almost, went over the head of the goal umpire post high, and fantastic finish from Corey Rich.
Great start here for the Lakers as they take that lead on the Metro scoreboard again. They lead by 3 points here at the City Oval. Madden with the tap down. Clark with the follow-up, though, for the Lakers as they look to come out of the centre clearance again. Pope trying to break things up for Redan on hands and knees out to Gunser. Sidestep from Carroll, and a look-away ball is to be desired towards centre forward. Broke up by Holmes. He had a little bit of a fresh area almost, but he got Boots' ball in the end as it goes into the corridor. Rich up to me. Did wow, big tackle applied by Redan to strip down by letting it go on in the wet stuff as it's really hard to control for the players. High ball inside 50, almost from Redan as it was smothered and ricocheted back towards centre wing. It's a real scrap on that far side from our broadcast position, about 150 metres away. Diving in there was Bell. He couldn't gather. Hacked forward by the Lakers. A mark needed by Lawson, who was strong in the air, which he takes.
So Lawson resolutely takes the mark. He's about 70, 80 metres out from home. Runs on. Almost handballed it to himself and now sends it inside 50. Going to a one-on-one, waiting at the back. Good mark. Young Cooper James, I think it is, who's still an under-17s player, and he's taken a really strong mark there, of course, was part of the interleague side there. Found Shearer, another young talent for Lake Wendouree, goes inboard to Clark. This is Will Clark. There's 3 of them playing today. So Clark ushers his men to come forward and now thinks about the shorter option, but goes out wide to Raven, who's good. In fact, it's Todd.
This is good, slow and steady ball movement. Hold the footy, don't give it up.
So he's just on the grandstand side on centre wing and decides to use his wheels and beat Carroll, which he does. And on that left shoe, sends it towards 60 out from home. Over the back, couldn't quite mark, but standing there for Redan was Madden, who's able to get away a kick and doesn't go super far, but they get back to centre wing to Redan for a ball up.
Gee, she's tough conditions for players, umpires, commentators, and all the alike. As it's been very heavy rain for the last 15 minutes or so here at the City Oval, and a scrap on the scoreboard as the Lakers lead by 3 points thanks to Metro. Back on the way, Redan getting beat at the sauceman as Clark sends it towards half forward. Unable to mark there was Todd, and out of bounds it will go from Redan about 60 metres from goal with a boundary throw.
Exactly, Sam Young. Beaten at the source. The stoppages, they're just dominating Lake Wendouree. It's O'Connell, it's Will Clark, it's Rich when he spends time in there. So good signs for Lake Wendouree.
Absolutely great signs so far. Still early days as we're back underway here, and looks like the umpire's going to be required to use his authority again. No, it pops out. Redan are able to get away a handball about 10 metres. Anderson's in there for Lake Wendouree, taken quickly in the tackle. And yeah, Lake Wendouree, Rog, really looking dangerous. We've played 21 minutes in this first term. Can they just keep it going?
That's going to be the million-dollar question, isn't it? How long can they maintain this intensity at the footy?
Half-forward flank for the Lakers. Well done by Madden in the ruck, who's been competitive and gets the hat kicked down the line. Trying to go off the deck there was Cruz Raz. You can pick a great pick up in the wet there by James as he dumps a high ball down the line for Lake Wendouree. Umpires paid the advantage and the free kick away of Rich as he thumps the long ball towards full forward. Tough one to mark in these conditions, has to be said. Redan want the safe to the boundary line as they disguise that one and run it out of bounds. We'll get a ball in.
Gee, conditions are tough down here, boys. Breeze and rain in full effect.
Tristan, you do know you've got a box right in front of you. You can climb under and stay dry. You're getting absolutely saturated down there.
So swinging around is a Lake Wendouree player having a shot at goal. In fact, it might have gone home. It has. I didn't see who it was. It happened so fast at the restart, but the umpire's given his salute, and Lake Wendouree have their second, Youngie.
It was young Noah Shearer, actually, and he's been good early. Undersized kind of key forward. Strong tackling play. He was able to get that ball onto his boot really quickly and just snap it over the shoulder. And this is just the start that Lakers were after. I'm sure Mark Gregg wouldn't be impressed with the way Redan are going about at the moment. They seem to be losing just in effort and contest, and that's something that every footballer can bring.
I like Shearer's run in his 35th game today. Gets himself a goal early on, so that's good for the Lakers.
22 and a half minutes since the opening term, and the Lakers got a bit of a separation on the score sheet now. Redan their response. Gunser one of the prime movers to do so with a left foot kick dribbling ball to half forward. Tough ball to gather. And retreating by hand's always dangerous in these conditions because it opens the door for turnover as the Lakers thump a high one to half forward. Another chaos ball and more pressure and contest at there for the Lakers. Free kick's been picked out. We'll go the way of the Wendouree. Now it's out of bounds, sorry, but we'll get a ball in.
Yeah, just on that Peel Street end of the ground.
So can Lakers wrestle another one here. Wouldn't that be the start thereafter?
It would be a dream start, but it is those second halves that have travelled them so far. So back underway here. Madden tips it down for Redan. Pope is over it, so is Clark for Lake Wendouree. No one can quite shovel it out cleanly. Now it does come. Pope over the top, gets it to Barker. Barker has to be quick here. Gets it over to a teammate, Michelle, who's able to go quick underground handball, but it's been touched over the line for a boundary throw-in, I believe.
Bailey McKay still yet to reappear for Redan, boys. Quarter time, I'll see if I can get an update as to whether he can continue today.
Ball in half-forward flank region here for the Lakers. Thank you to Tristan Ashmore for that injury update. Tough ball together, hacked to the deck there by Bouchel, who go twice as the ball goes in towards the corridor. Kuzra's playing in front, just slapped the back in towards true centre back. Running through with pace, there was Raven. He couldn't quite break the tackle. And in the end, there'll be another scrap and stoppage towards centre half forward in these trying wet conditions. True winter's day in Ballarat as the rains arrived and the skill level's out the window. But the effort from Lake Wendouree continues. 2-5-17 on the Metro scoreboard. They lead Redan 1-2-8 here at the City Oval.
It's a good day to plonk yourself in the beautiful grandstand here. As at the restart, Parkinson couldn't quite get boot the ball out of fresh air. His play still hasn't quite broken open from this contest. Now it does. Lake Wendouree get the clearance and send it inside 50. Now who's waiting out the back? It's gone out, but it's spilled towards the boundary line, and that's out of play. Right in the right forward pocket here for Lake Wendouree. They've looked the better side, I must say, so far. They're leading 2-5-17 to Redan 1-2-8 on the Metro scoreboard. We're 25 minutes into the first quarter here as boundary throw-in is underway, Youngie.
As the ball's about 200 metres from our broadcast position, deep inside 50 for the Lakers. Quick snapper, goal! Yes! How about 3 for the Wendouree? Wonderfully done there by the Lakers, and it's just that effort, the push, and push, and push. Quick snap out of the pack and goal.
Great start from the Lakers. They've dominated clearance. They've dominated inside 50, doing everything right. And after 5 behinds, they're starting to get that reward for effort on the scoreboard. Some worrying signs, as I said, for Redan, and just around contest and effort at this point in time. It's a wet day. It's a heavy. The rain has not stopped since the game started, and Lake Wendouree have come to play.
They've come out the gates hard. They lead by 15 points here at the City Oval. Don't go anywhere as Redan's star player Rory Gunser gets the clearance. Can they draw one back before quarter time? Kicking it up forward, couldn't quite dispose the handball quickly was Daniel Bond, but it's popped back to him. He's inside 50. He shakes his defender. He has a look at the big sticks and he smashes into the behind post. In fact, not even registering a score.
Redan's Bailey McKay back on the ground, boys. Back on the ground.
Thank you, Tristan. That's good news. Very good news for the Redan faithful.
So it'll be the Lakers bringing it back from the full-back position and an error-tron goal by Bond. High ball down the line there by Lake Wendouree. Fisted away there by Parkinson as the ball hits the turf. Opportunity here for the Lions to sweep back inside 50. They need a goal for confidence more than anything. It's a handball out of bounds, and band up I was going to say lasso free kick go the way of the Lakers. So Clark will chip it down the line, finds its target. Opportunity here for Anderson just to hold things up, and they take a handy buffer in the quarter time in these wet conditions. Every goal worth almost feels its weight of like 2 in these conditions.
Yeah, that ball's getting heavier and heavier, isn't it? And obviously they'll change it at quarter time, but get yourself in front and make Redan catch up would be the message from Rowan Brown, I'd imagine.
High ball by Anderson was marked by Redan as they send it back towards half forward. Hack forward into the corridor, which is a dangerous hot zone to hit. Gunser was waiting all by himself. Take the mark here at the City Oval as we approach quarter time. He'll wheel around, thump it towards Bond at half forward. He spoils instead and brings the ball to ground. It's a real scrap at the half forward line, about 50 metres out from goal for the Lions. Hacked on the deck there by Clark, hands and knees, hand pass, will get this back its way towards Gunser as he goes long into the pocket. Cruiser Radis couldn't quite take the mark. Diving was James, who's been terrific inside the fence. Pittard, right foot snap! Flicked inside of the goal post. It is a behind, says the goal umpire. 139 on the Metro scoreboard. That's Redan. They trail Lakers 3 goals, 5-23.
Might be time to get Pittard up the ground a little bit for Redan. I know he just had that shot on goal from his forward position, but he's been so good for them all season. I find it a little unusual in challenging times that he's standing in the goal square.
Janstrom just directing traffic for Lake Wendouree. He's trusty left boot, but that kick's been taken over the line by Grant Bell, so we'll get a boundary throw in about 55 metres out from Lake Wendouree's goal. We're on the Sturt Street side of the ground here at City Oval as We're getting ready to get back in under the restart. Quarter time can't be far away. It is Lake Wendouree by 14 points as they get first touch on it, did the Wendouree ruckman, and now players come spinning through. Ball bobbles out. I thought it was going to be ball up, but no. Clark goes in there for Lake Wendouree and just hacks a kick off the ground, trying to get Raven. Raven, he picked it up nice and cleanly and then shoveled it out beautifully, looking for a teammate. Now some more go in. Picking up his Rich. Couldn't quite be clean if it was Anderson, but ball bobbles out laterally. Now Redan is able to go inside 50. Bond turning around, almost worked his defender out inside out. Was able to get a handball over the top to Clark. Clark, strong in the hips, got it back to Daniel Bond. Tries to break for the tackle and does, but couldn't quite get full purchase on the kick. It only went about 8 metres, but we're 40 metres out from Redan's goal, left forward pocket. Gunser in there, immediately wrapped up. Is that holding the ball? No, umpire says I'll intervene and ball it up in the left forward pocket. Redan's end of the ground.
Good defensive pressure from the Lakers. Redan really pressing here.
Inside 50, final minute of the opening term. Redan trying to get one back. Clark, who's been industrious in that midfield, will just slam the ball down the line to gain vital territory. Might come back with interest. In front there, and retreating was Mortlock. Hand pass behind is always dangerous in the conditions. They lose territory. Lakers just rush it forward. One words. For a chance for them.
So Brand sends it inside 50 for Sebastopol. They're 30 metres out from goal. Few players flew. No one can take the mark. Waiting down low, although dangerous in these situations is Forbes, and he has a look at the goals, and he kicks a right foot snap for the first goal of the day.
One down there by Gertz. Cassidy, strong in the hips, sidestep superb, standing barrel if you don't mind to a vacant goal, but he needs the bounce, and he got it!
To prepare for viruses like influenza, COVID and RSV, I get vaccinated regularly. Viruses are always changing. That's why vaccination really matters to protect yourself against serious disease and hospitalisation. And the risks go up when you turn 65. Vaccination is the best preparation. Speak to your health professional and book your vaccinations today. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Huge tax time deals now at Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. Up to 30% off Windows 11 computers. All the big brands, HP, Asus, Acer and Lenovo and more. Save $600 on Motorola Edge 60 Pro, now just $597. Save $50 on DJI Neo Drone, now $198. And save $350 on Lenovo Idea Tab Pro 12.7, now $447. More tax time deals in store and online. Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance on now.
Go Harvey! Are you ready to unlock the door to your first home? Look no further than Mortgage Choice Ballarat. We understand buying your first home can be daunting, but with Mortgage Choice Ballarat by your side, it's smooth sailing all the way. Our experts will guide you through every step of the mortgage process. With access to a wide range of lenders and exclusive first-time buyer deals, we'll help find you a mortgage that fits you. Visit us today or give us a call to get started.
Tender beef Scotch fillet steak is at an hourly price of only $35.99 a kilo and is so flavoursome, one bite and everything just melts away. Aldi, good different.
Tonight is Tats Lotto's $20 million Super Draw Saturday. Don't miss out on your chance to become a millionaire. Hurry, grab a Super Draw entry now. Wouldn't it be nice?
Ballarat's 3BA, covering the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League, live.
Boundary throwing in a dangerous spot for Redan, about 20 metres out from goal, favoured the Lake Wendouree ruckman Clark, although the kick out from James fell to Redan forward, who has a snap at goal and kicks it.
Grant Bell,
who's back in the side this week, the veteran, has kicked the first of the day for the Lions. So Raven kicks forward for Lake Wendouree inside 50, and working off his man beautifully was a Lake Wendouree forward who is 50 metres out, decides to play on, has a look at the goals. It's Corey Rich, and it's home.
Welcome back to 3BA Footy's home ground. Thanks to D2E Jim from Ballarat to Wendouree. You're never too far from a D2E where it's quarter time in our match of the round. And yes, the Lakers, 3 goals, 5-23, looking for their first win in 28 attempts. They lead Redan 1-3-9 here at the City Oval. A couple of goals to Noah Shearer inside 450 has been impressive. Corey Rich with that great goal that Sammy Treasure called in the opening term. And Grant Bale, the individual goal kicker for Redan. As we might cross downtown, and Tristan Ashmore, who was listening to Lake Wendouree's quarter time address with Rowan Brown.
Boys, Rowan Brown was absolutely stoked with that quarter. First thing he said was, do you believe this works now? Shows the belief between the group. They were happy they were getting first use of the footy. They were really happy with Logan Clark's effort as ruckman in that first quarter. They were just celebrating their massive efforts, repeated efforts. They were massive about that and not overdoing it when footy in hand. Absolutely stoked they were.
Thank you very much, Tristan Ashmore, who was listening closely to Lake Wendouree's quarter-time address there with Rowan Brown from For One Life Insurance, Roger LeGrand. I'm interested in your thoughts of that opening term and the effort the Lakers have brought to the contest.
and I take what Rowan Brown said to his group. They're not trying to overdo it. They're not trying to be too fancy. They're playing that good old-fashioned wet weather football, winning clearance, winning tackles, getting the ball inside 50 and trying to maintain it. I've actually been really impressed with their defensive forwards too, in terms of just the pressure they've applied to the defenders of Redan and keeping that ball inside 50. They scored 5 behinds before they scored their first goal, and now they've got 8 scoring shots to 4. So I'd imagine Mark Gregg, on the other hand, would be pretty disappointed with Redan that quarter, and I would expect, given the way he coaches and some of the quality players that Redan who have, they'll bite back and they'll bite back hard. But can Lakers maintain this effort and contest? Can they maintain the structure around the footy, this smart ball movement, this not trying to overdo it? That's the question to ask at the start of the second quarter.
As we approach the start of the second quarter for Go Vita, your local health store, East Point, Ballarat, Sunbury and Melton all leading their games at quarter time. As we're ready to go for the second term here at the City Oval, it's the Lakers leading on the Metro scoreboard for only the second time, a quarter time in season 2026. Here to start the second term is our man Sam Treasure.
Well, let's see what the Lakers can notch up here in the second quarter. Right in the heart of City Oval, the umpire releases the ball and we get back underway, as it is the Lakers that get that first clearance. Raven over the top, handball, didn't have any support. Now immediately wrapped up his Redan player by Rich. So we'll go again right at true centre half forward for Lake Wendouree. So first clearance of the second quarter, tick, Youngie.
Yeah, they're ranked 4 in the competition for centre clearances, do the Lakers, and continuing on that trend this afternoon is Redan, the worst ranked team in the competition at centre clearance. Clark, being industrious, couldn't get boots the ball, ricochets inside 50 to Raven, dumping ball to full forward, almost marked in the goal square. In the end, Lang, who just sees it through the minus score for a rush behind. You can see Zach Lang's got that jumper on this afternoon. He caught the socials throughout the week. That did go missing, i.e. Devon Robinson style, and he ran around and got a few posies.
I did see that. I'm sure he loved it.
A bit of me time for Zachy.
Yeah. There's Harry Lawson. He's going to do the kicking in duties for the Lions. He looks like he's going to go up the right side of the ground, which is the Sturt Street side, and a short option comes out to him, which he uses, which is Gunser, and they love the footy in his hands. But he goes back to Lawson, who kept running, and now Lawson can send it to the wing and sliding in. Pittard can't quite hold on, although Redan are able to pick up and go forward, and now the kick's been turned over by Mortlock, and Lake Wendouree going to slingshot the other way now on true centre wing.
So the Lakers to go forward again. High ball towards the half-forward flank. Brought to the ground by Word, spills it back Lang. Caught in a big tackle there by Shearer. Strong was Madden, got the handball away when many couldn't. Pope goes back in towards the traffic initially. Dribbling kick will go towards true centre back. Big ball will be won. Clark in it there against, well, his opposing name in Lockie Clark against Will Clark. There's 4 Clarks out this afternoon for those playing at home. And it works out for Redan's Clark this time as they move towards half forward. Although cut off there by Yarnstrom. Left foot kick in the direction there, a teammate. A nice strong mark taken by the Lakers.
Yeah, Corey Richard is, who, if he wants to go quickly, he's got an option longer, he's got an option short. He goes the longer option out the back. Barker was there. Fist came over the top from Redan. Now they probably will kill it. Woolworths, yes, with all his experience, just walks it over the line, and it's another point for Lake Wendouree.
Love that work from Yarnstrom, leaving his man to influence the contest and win the turnover. Obviously, his experience and his high-level footy is starting to show through.
So it'll be Lawson Reed back underway to the defensive side, out of sight from our broadcast position. Madden, the tallest target, will spill at the back. Might be an opportunity at ground level here for Redan to move it forward here. Opportunity there for Catley to go towards half forward. Finds his target. Mark's taken in there by the Lions. Right foot kick will go inside forward 50. Should be marked. No, it's not. Lakers defence up for the challenge. Shooting for Pitt out of ground level. He couldn't quite get it. Hacked off the deck by the Lions towards the goal face. It slides on in the wet stuff. Does it get over the line? No, it does not. Yarnstrom will mop things up. Short ball finds the target. Mark's taken there by the Lakers and by Billy Kelly.
Sorry, Kelly. Apologies before, I got him mixed up with Cooper James. He is, in fact, the under-17s age player, and he goes long down the line, so big shoes to fill here for the youngster. At the source, no one could quite win it, and players jump on each other straight away for a ball up true centre wing, grandstand side of the ground, but Lake Wendouree again, Rog, they've come out lively.
Yeah, defence is holding up, and that's what you're after, but certainly we're certainly seeing more of Lawson and Gunser for Redan, so they've got to control those two.
Anderson did well for the Lakers, but he's kicks him into a dangerous area in the corridor. Big ball will be one slap to the advantage of the Lions and of Mortlock. Put the head over the footy as he only knows how Lawson put his head over the footy. He had his head ripped off. Umpire said he must have leant into it because he definitely faded back like he got that high contact, but no free kick, and we'll get a ball up. And always interested in that one, Roger LeGrand, when they lean with the head. Is that their prior opportunity?
Such a challenging one for the umpire. I actually think in that case he probably did lean into it, so good decision.
So perhaps just a little bit less life at the start of this second quarter, but we're still early days. It is Lake Wendouree that lead if you just joined us here by 14 points on the Metro scoreboard. We're at City Oval. We are delighted to have your coverage as at this ball up. The umpire wastes absolutely no time. Madden got the hit, although it was to no avail. Clark came in for Lake Wendouree and was immediately tackled by Madden. We'll go again in the same spot, about the half-forward flank for Redan on the left side of the ground, grandstand side, as umpire, once again, Madden has front position, knocks it on. Clark was waiting down once again for Lake Wendouree. We're going to have to try again, Youngie, in the same spot.
I'll see if I can work this one out.
So, Youngie, the question is, what can Mark Gregg do? Because he can't continue to concede clearance like he is at the moment.
Yes, well, I'll give you my answer in a moment as we stick with the action as handball goes back towards Pope and he's caught in a tackle. Good enough to wriggle himself away to Madden, whose hack kick forward was cut off there by the Lakers. And Clark from a standing start will send a high ball for Lake Wendouree to half forward. Opportunity in front there for Blythe, the Johnny couldn't gather. Picked up by Lawson, he dumps high towards half forward again. It's just that impenetrable wall that Wendouree seemed to have behind the footy. The spearing pass from home should find its target. Mark's taken there by Warland on the true centre wing on the broadcast side. I think it's important that they get some of the big guns around the footy at the minute. Maybe Gunser goes inside as Warland's kick goes out of bounds. Get some quality around the footy, Roger LeGrand, for one life insurance.
Well, they have to do something because they've just been smashed at stoppage and they're not able to get the ball on the outside enough to get the ball inside 50.
So Lang goes up the line and that's just going to spill out of bounds. So, as I mentioned at the start of the broadcast, it has been 665 days since Lake Wendouree did register that first video. I'm not taking the early crow here.
Well, that's not
I'm not mozzing too much. It was in fact against Redan as well in the last round of the 2024 season. So they are a fond opposition for them as back underway here on the wing.
They refuse to get today 6-6-6 as we're back underway here on True Center Wing on the broadcast side. It's just an absolute scrap. You can throw a blanket over 15 players. We've got another ball up. The other one they need to get involved here, Roger Grand's Lockie Bond, who's been well held by Cooper James in defence.
Yeah, Lockie Bond, you'd move him up the ground, Pittard move him up the ground. So they've got some options. It's just a case of how long can Mark Gregg wait to get those players in and around the footy, because that's where the game is being won and lost at the moment.
And there's no real breeze advantage either.
No, so far, if there's anyone that's been leather poisoning this quarter, it's been the umpire with stoppages. Rich now out of the middle, maybe can get some continuity in this one, although that has bowled everyone, I think. No, boundary umpire set off hands. He has best position, so it will be a boundary throw-in on True Centre Wing once again on this grandstand side. Once again, Rich has been busy.
He's been super
busy.
prominent, Rich, hasn't he? And he just pushes up to the stoppage as the fifth. He's starting as a high half forward and just getting up to that stoppage as an extra. And even now, no one on him.
Taking out the ruck there by Madden. Couldn't get real clean boots of ball. Diving in there was young James Clark on debut as the Lakers extract and look to go forward again. Great smother coming across there by Pope. Now footy on beyond in earnest as McDougall hacks off the deck for Redan. Sliding, was that a throw? Yes, it was. Guns was off to the races, but the scoop was illegal disposal and free kick to Lake Wendouree.
Not happy there, young Rory Gunser. Had 34 last week, but Lake Wendouree are going to come back the other way for James, who sets his sights on going long here, and he does just that. Madden's waiting down, but his direct opponent Clark, and none of them could mark it the two ruckmen. It spills out the back, and going in was Jared, although he couldn't cleanly possess. Bond is in there now for Redan, immediately spun in the tackle, did the ring of Rosie. Umpire said play on. Lawson goes in there, and now the umpire's going to intervene. And we're going to have a ball up on about half forward for Redan. They're kicking towards the Bowls Club ends this quarter.
Back on the way here, one in the ruck by Clark. Quick kick forward there by Mortlock into the corridor, which is always dangerous. Foot race beyond in earnest. And the numbers in McKay will win out. He spits it wide with the hand pass. Cruiser Raz the option, puts the head over the foot. He just couldn't quite pick it up. It's like a wet bar of soap, but he was held without it, said the umpire. Free kick will go his way, and Redan can drive this inside forward 50. They look long, high ball into the pocket. Be a tough pack mark, and it's not a problem at all. It's taken. Shot and goal to come up. I think it might be Lockie Bond who's there. No, Grant Bell's the man who's emerged with it in that pack. He'll lie for his second.
That's more like it from Redan. Quick ball movement. Get the ball to the outside. Use it well. Good mark inside 50.
So Bell kicking second and just caressed it through nicely. And the Lions get the first of the second term. They're 2-3-15 on the Metro scoreboard to Lake Wendouree's 3-7-25.
Better stuff from Redan, as I said, getting the ball on the outside, using the speed. Three prominent players, Redan, that are really standing out for Redan at the moment are Lawson, Mortlock, and Gunser, and they need to get those guys on the inside because that's where the game's been won and lost.
Going around the grounds thanks to Go Vida. East Point have a 15-point lead over Sebas. Lockie Charleston, the man on return, has 2 goals.
Thank you, Tristan. That'll settle his nerves at least, and East Point will be very happy to have him. Let's keep a close eye on that one as that one plays out today. As back at the restart, Madden couldn't win the hit out. Pope went without it. Anderson in there and working hard is Bond for Redan, although couldn't cleanly shovel out a handball, and now we're going to get a ball up. Grant Bell kicked that last goal too today. Youngie, of course, he's a man that's been around the traps for a very long time.
Yeah, fast approaching game 200 of senior footy forward hand. Crowlin in the ruck, wins it down. Hacked off the deck there by the Lakers, just trying to gain that little bit of territory. Pope will come away from half back with a streaking hand pass, although it was a tough ball to grab in the air for Crowlin and slipped through his grasp. McDougall came in, trying to make amends. His kick was partially smothered. Holmes did well. Big ball be won. Todd leaves it for Anderson to just hack off the deck, and clearing kick from Redan will go towards True Centre Wing. He'll sit up for Gunster and not go out of bounds. On his left side, Gunster will spear it down the line. And how's that for ball use? Bang! Van Bell, 60 from goal. He'll wheel and go. Look inside forward 50. Right foot kick is long and strong to Bond. He couldn't take the mark. Off the deck goes Cruiser-Radis! Nice soccer goal in the wet conditions, and they get back-to-back goals through the Lions. They're 3-3-21 on the Metro scoreboard. Lake Wendouree 3-7-25.
Just some inexperience from Lake Wendouree defender Billy O'Kelly then. He had the option of leaving his man and going to a loose ball. In the end, he decided to go back with his opponent, which allowed Gunter to come in and have free reign, who kicked it over Billy O'Kelly's head to a Redan teammate who ended up kicking it towards goal, and then that kick off the ground from Cruiserata. So just a little bit of an inexperience, as Sam Treasure said before. He's still an under 17 player, Billy, so no great criticism. Something hopefully he'll learn from that. But certainly Lakers want the next one if they just want to maintain this momentum that they've had early.
So Redan clawing back here. That's 3-3-21. Redan trailing Lake Wendouree by 4 points. They're 25 on the Metro scoreboard as Krellin rises, but Clark prevails for Lake Wendouree. Just grabbed it out of the ruck, kicked it forward. Couldn't quite pick it up cleanly was Clark, although Bond could, although was he taken with too much on holding the ball? No, umpire said play on. Clark advances it forward for Redan, streaking out, gets it out to Bell. He can get right foot snap this towards the goals, which he does, and it hits the post. So Grant Bell almost had his third there, and he's really coming alive. And Redan, well, they're slowly coming back.
Well, it's that wrap around to the fat side again, Roger Legrand, wrap around to your natural side, and it's just a little bit inexperienced to just leaving your direct opponent at goal side.
That's right, and inexperience is the word, and I'm sure the message is getting out there from Rowan Brown.
So Yarnstrom will go short into the pocket as the Lakers try to take some mini gains up the line and get back to what they were doing so well, which is making it hot, contested, and a real scrap as they gain territory down the line. Top bottom mark, 150 metres away from our broadcast position. Waiting down was Raven, although Redan steal it, pump it inside 50. Pittard unable to mark, ball hits the turf. Opportunity for Yarnstrom to clear. He gets boots the ball towards the boundary line. Now it's inside defensive 50, so it won't be that Lasso free kick. The Lakers decide to keep it alive through O'Connell. In the end, he's just walked over and we'll get a ball in 48 metres out from the goal face.
Certainly for a game, 9th versus 10th on the ladder, intensity effort is absolutely fantastic. And we've said that numerous times today. It's a really entertaining clash in trying conditions.
So both sides have been tenacious to start this game as Krellin won the ruck for Redan. Now they're inside 50, but waiting back home is James, who's immediately taken in the tackle. Some boys want holding the footy to Redan, and now it might just bobble out. I think the umpire's going to have to call this for him, and he does now. We're 30 metres out from Redan's goal, pretty directly in front. It's a somewhat dangerous spot here on the Peel Street end of the ground as Krellin tried to grab it out of the ruck, couldn't quite. Ball just repels backwards a little bit. Now some Lakers go in, they're able to release a handball, and no, they're not. It was an incorrect disposal. It's holding the footy, and a Redan player's going to have a chance to go back and put them in front for the first time today.
Tough call in these conditions, Roger Legrand. I mean, I would have thought you've got to give them a little bit of leeway with the slippery bar of soapness football.
Well, he was the one that went in and got it. What worked against him, though, is he broke one tackle, and when you break one and get caught in the second, it's not a real difficult decision for the umpire to make.
So Jock McDougall in his second game, he kicked one on his debut for Redan, will endeavour to put him in front. Kicks on its way, looks decent off the boot, and it is more than decent, it's 6 points. Redan hit the front, Jock McDougall, well, he kicks one, he's second in his senior career, the St Pat's boy, and that puts Redan out to a lead of 4-4. 28, leading Lake Wendouree 3-7-25 on the Metro scoreboard.
So they've bounced back the way we thought they would, Redan. Mark Gregg is a very intuitive and clever coach. His messaging at quarter time, without hearing it directly, would have been, you know, we need to be better than this, fellas. And they've actually opened up the game more, which is playing to their advantage, whereas Lakers were winning the in and under and the clearance. Once that ball gets to the outside, the foot speed of Redan is shining at the moment, and as a result, they've kicked 3 goals this quarter.
So Lions in front here at the City Oval midway through the second term. Madden back in the ruck will win it down. Be in contention for that Sporting Globe Player Today honours as Lockie Clark comes off the wing. Did well with strength, and then quicker boots the ball well. Good pressure applied there by James Clark. In the end, the umpire says give it to me for another stoppage.
Just another Go Vida around the grounds update, boys. Down the highway, Sunbury 2-goal leaders over Darley.
Thank you very much, Tristan Ashmore is back of the action here. Clark, who's had plenty of it, is held to him. Will go again for another third ball up. You throw a blanket over about 16 players in the middle of the beautiful City Oval as Madden will win it down. Lakers trying to endeavour with the clearance, and again it's a gang tackle, and again another stoppage. I might have to give it to you, Sammy, to see if you can get some free flowing play.
It's been some copy and paste here. Stoppage, ball up. We try again. In Redan's half of the ground. Now, who can go in there and get the clearance? Todd for Lake Wendouree stops, props, and gave a handball, but we didn't have the support there, and Redan, if they can just pick this up, maybe they can go inside 50 over the top of Shell, is able to get a handball, and Redan come away with it. Inside 50, Bond leading out the back. This is Lockie Bond, goes off the deck, although his kick has missed everything. Cruiseratus is there, he can pick up, get round on his left, shot at goal, it's home. Yes, Lockie Cruiseratus kicks his second on his left shoe, had to spin around on a 5-cent piece, and he did ever so nicely. And pops it through for Redan, and they are all the momentum right now, Roger
They
Legrand,
do,
One Life Insurance.
And this was the momentum that we spoke about pre-game in terms of being able to halt another team's momentum. And the challenges for Rowan Brown and the Lakers players, obviously, to stop the momentum. So 4 goals in a row from Redan after having a handy little lead. Lakers, what are they going to do to twist that momentum back around there that way? What's Rowan Brown going to do in the coaching box?
That's the questions that will have to be answered for One Life Insurance as we're back underway here at the City Oval. Coming off the wing was Holmes. He's wrapped up the tackle, ball up. 4 goals in 7 or 8 minutes. Here's the story as Redan kick away on the Metro scoreboard. 5 goals, 4-34 to Lake Wendouree's 3-7-25. Tough ball to be won in the middle again. Hands and knees football has been the modus operandi this afternoon with another stoppage in right in the middle of the City Oval for the 3rd time. Mortlock emerges from bottom of the pack, who's been moved into the midfield in season 2026.
Madden out of the ruck, won the hit out and got it down, and
He's been good, Will Madden, in the ruck for Redan. He really has. He's starting to use his physical dominance.
So Will Clark, who's over the top of the footy for Lake Wendouree, has won a high free kick, and he looks like he's going to go for a wide lateral ball to Felix Warland, although first on the premises was Lockie Clark, who gets a fist in there for Redan, resolutely spoiling it out for a boundary throw-in on true centre wing grandstand side of the ground.
Low percentage kick that one going out towards the wing on a wet day. You'd want to get the ball forward.
A player of Clark's calibre maybe should have gone longer there. As the sun's just poking through here at City Oval, and Madden nudges his opponent out of the way for Redan and kicks it towards centre forward. So here they go again. The Lake Wendouree have to be up to the challenge here. Trying to work over the top. He's a Lakers defender. It's cuts, can't quite. Now Redan players go in, but Lake Wendouree kick out of panic, are able to clear it. So advancing it forward towards the wing. They can slingshot here inside 50, and they do. Tracking after it is the debutant Connor Blythe for Lake Wendouree, although maybe the boundary line's going to win. Yeah, it does. He ran hard. He had Lang on his hammer, but the ball spills out of play for a boundary thrown in the left forward pocket of Lake Wendouree's ground youngie. The goal here would be nice for their sake.
Well, I need one to break a run of 4 as they finally gain some territory inside 50 now for the Lakers. Madden with the knockdown. Did he take him on more? Like umpire said no. Clearing kick comes from Redan. Might come back with interest though. Dinky little kick from the Lakers inside forward 50. Flying high with the attempted mark there was Walsh. She couldn't quite bring it down. And now Redan just get it out of the fence. Shearer retreats for the hand pass. Conlon inside will wait for it. He's just tackled with ferocity. Pittard high up. Dumps a vacant ball. He'll dribble inside a vacant 50. The foot race beyond in earnest. Got to keep your feet. Parkinson went to ground, picked it up, got brought down, and he's gone. He did so well to get down and pick it up, boys, to James Parkinson, but he didn't have the foot speed to get away from the whoopie tackler. And shot goal's going to come off for Grant Bell for number 3, and he's going to be brought to the line for 50 metres. I can only say might have been for some unkind words towards the umpire, Roger.
Yeah, on a day like today, regardless of what you think of the free kick, there's no point arguing that.
Coach Killer.
Coach Killer, exactly. So Grant Bell goes from 40 metres out just directly in front. And what's the end result, Youngie?
It's a 6-pointer. A big goal for Redan. They're 5th in a row as we approach time on in the second term. He has 3. Redan have 6 goals, 40 on the Metro scoreboard. And the Lakers seemingly in trouble now, 3-7-25.
They are, and just that momentum again. So 4 or 5 goals in a row from Redan. Parkinson was probably a bit stiff, I thought, with the holding the ball. He went down, picked it up, got to his feet and was tackled straight away. On a day like today, I'm not sure that's by opportunity. But at the end of the day, the umpire paid that free kick, and he was standing there saying whatever he said to the umpires, not the smartest move. I'm sure Rowan Brown would be conveying that either now or post-game.
So the door has been slammed shut on Lake Wendouree since quarter time. It's Redan by 15, is back underway in the middle. No ruckman could clearly gather it, as now we're going to get another stoppage. So it was Lake Wendouree who led by 14 at quarter time, if you're just joining us on the Metro scoreboard. The script has been flipped right now, if you will, in the second quarter, and it is Redan by 15 as we played 20 minutes in this second term. They're still in the middle of the grounds, the heart of the City Oval, as we got a clearing kick for Redan, although the umpire's paid out a free kick going the way of Pope, it looks like, for something. Did you see that, Rog?
Got him a little bit high. I think he's got up a little bit gingerly. But Pope's been one of the reasons why Redan have got right on top here. That midfield dominance that we spoke about in the first quarter, Pope, Gunser, Lawson and Madden in the ruck have all kind of lifted their game significantly, and the reason why Redan are in front.
High kick towards the half-forward flank from Pope. Be fisted out the back there by O'Kelly. It will fall just inside forward 50 for the Lions. Pittard trying to gather in a new role across half-forward this afternoon. Deep in the fence. They retreat to the Lakers to Clark. High up and under the kick will be a tough one to mark down the line, has to be said, as it went 30 metres in the air. Boards to turf. Wendouree desperate for some territory and some respite for the defence. Looks like that's what they'll get, about 60 metres out from the goals. 21 minutes has surpassed. 6-4-40 on the Metro scoreboard. Redan, they lead Lake Wendouree at 3-7-25.
Gee, a few sore bodies out here, boys, just playing for half-time.
So Lake Wendouree, they just need a circuit breaker. They need to get one back, regain this momentum. But it's Redan who are going to push again. Inside 50, out the back, Spoil came. Trekking after it is James for Lake Wendouree. He's under pressure. He's tackled, but smartly he walks it across the boundary line as we nearly have a seagull come flying into the commentary box. But he's decided I'm going to sit on the roof. It's a boundary throw-in in the right forward pocket.
No hot chips in the box for them to nick here this afternoon. It's a shallow ball inside 50 is always a dangerous one for the defence to handle. Hacked off the deck. The goalkeeper on the line sees it through for a minor score.
Is that Patrick Beach?
I thought it might be a bit of Patrick Beach style with a little fingertip over the line and a minor score the result. 6-5-41 Redan on the Metro scoreboard. Lakers 3-7-25.
Lakers playing for the half-time siren now, and they need it, because 5-goal quarter so far to Redan.
So Janstrom, I'm hoping he's not going to kick an own goal today. There's Barker over the top for Redan, and kind of looked like a throw, but umpire's going to let it play on. We'll see how this one pans out. Gunser precisely measures the kick, although getting in front was Conlon, and he might have been holed. Yes, he was. So good play there from Conlon to get in front and then win himself a free kick for Lakers. So he dishes it off to Janstrom, who's going to go with a neat kick towards Raven, although it might have been a little bit too tall for the short. Raven was outmatched, and Mortlock out the back for Redan. Just walks it across the line for a boundary throw-in. A little bit forward of Lake Wendouree's goal here on the broadcast side.
Good to see the sun is out. The rain is gone for the time being. And
Yeah, we decided to come undercover on this side, and then the sun decides to come out. Funny that.
Back on the way on the broadcast side. Big tackle on Pope, and another stoppage the result here in true centre wing. It's been a game of lots of tackling, lots of ball ups, lots of opportunity for Ben Crowell to get knockdowns like that. As Gunser with the semi-clearance. And he tried to bust his way through, did the Lake Wendouree play. Umpire gave benefit of the doubt as they slipped and slide again on centre wing on the broadcast side. 23.5 minutes gone in the second term. It just feels like the Lakers are desperate for half-time. Redan desperate to add more pain. High kick will come from Anderson towards half-forward line for the Lakers. Lawson getting back. So was Lang, and he stripped him away the tackle. Right foot kick down the line's a beauty. Gunser at full stretch had to fist it away. And a nice little wing there from Anderson, who got across and spoiled it out of bounds.
too easy coming out of the Redan defence. Those Lakers high half forwards need to do more of what they were doing in the first quarter and keep it in.
That's the voice of Roger Legrand for One Life Insurance as we're back underway here on True Centre Wing. So in the ruck, running at it too hard was Crellin, and Clark was able to get a fist down to the other Lake Wendouree. Clark, this is Will, who extracts it out to O'Connell. O'Connell out to Rich, and Rich tried to hack it off the deck, but it came off the boot.
It looks like free kick contact below the knees before that, Sammy. But yes, it was going to be an interesting lasso free kick, wasn't it? That's what you were building towards.
I was building towards that, Youngie. So it is Carroll who kicks down the line looking for Bond. It's a nice ball, although Bond just couldn't put the cherry on top. But Pittard roving the crumb beautifully, gets goal side, kicks inside 50, although bursting off his line beautifully was Janstrom for Lake Wendouree, who kicks it towards the middle of the ground. Now it's worked out well for Rich. It fortuitously fell into his hands. He goes back to Anderson, and now they drive inside 50 for Lake Wendouree. So can they get something here? Dropping the mark, though, was Lawson, who's able to now clear away, looking for Carroll. It was too hot for him. Over the back, Anderson is going to send it in for a second time in 10 seconds for Lake Wendouree. Raven has to outwork his opponent. He went to ground, though. Staying up, though, was Lang, who now is able to clear away for Redan, and that should be a lasso. If not, Raven will get there first, but it is out of bounds for a lasso free kick. Kind of Raven, Lake Wendouree can send them inside 50 again.
So opportunity to go inside 50. Raven on the lead. Lawson can take the mark over the back. Hacked to the deck by Grant. Clark goes inside with the hand pass. Hot foot to be one, of course. Crellin, his hand pass is broken up by the Lakers half forwards who hold this in Roger the ground, which is the goal going into half time here. Inside 50 for territory.
Need more of that. 3 entries recently, Lakers, and it's come out far too easily. They just want to keep the ball in there for a period of time.
Can they get Rich on the fly? Yes, they can. He gives the hand pass off for the 1-2 with O'Connell. Goes towards Holmes with the hand pass. Shearer comes in to make it look a little bit better than it was with the hand pass. Strong in the hips, breaks the tackle off the Joel O'Connell. Right foot kick for out to the outside of the boot. Gone the required journey to Clark. Umpire says it's a mark, and Will Clark will 45 directly in front.
I don't know if it did go the required.
I wouldn't be buying real
Get the
estate.
measuring tape out.
I wouldn't buy real estate from the umpire.
No.
But it was, for me, it was 14.9. But the umpire said 15, so that's all that matters.
And
I think the Redan bench poured out their own rules there, boys.
And isn't this a crucial kick in the scheme of things?
Absolutely. Will Clark, I think, has been Lakers' best. He'll be competing for the Sporting Globe Player of the Day. Can he get one against the grain? The breaker run of 5 goals in a row at the City Oval. He can't. It always looked ugly off the boots. And the Miners scored the result. 3 goals, 8-26 on the Metro scoreboard. Wendouree moved to Redan 6-5-41.
Often when you build them up, Youngie, that happens.
Constantly putting the commentator's curse on everyone for almost 10 plus years.
So, as the footy had to be retrieved from under a car, it looks like, which can happen, as anyone who's been to local footy does know. But we're underway again now through Lawson, who kicks it out of fullback for Redan. Got good purchase on the ball. It's gone all the way to the wing. Pittard, quick handball to Daniel Bond, who kicks forward again to a one-on-one with Lockie Bond, although getting over the top nicely for the Lakers, getting a fist onto the footy first was Cooper James.
Done some nice things back there, Cooper James. Like he's got a tough job on his hands today, playing on Bond, and yeah, he's done well.
Yeah, I reckon he's been Rowan Brown's number one in his best today. The job he's done on Lockie Bond thus far. He's been terrific, and maybe one just a smoky for that Sporting Globe Player today if the Lakers can find a way back to win this one. Back on the way, opportunity for Clark to go off the deck, clever to get it towards the teammates' advantage. He goes in the Anderson direction for the Lakers. Worked up there by Cutts and up forward there by Wendouree with a high ball. Lawson backing back. One-on-one with Raven. Lang ducked the head. I reckon that's his prior. Umpire says no. He gives him the benefit of the doubt. We'll ball things up. Half-forward flank on the broadcast side.
Roger, you're the umpire. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, I thought fair enough. I think the umpire's done a pretty good job.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
was one kind of hot decision on holding the ball, but difficult day to umpire, and I think they've done well.
They have. So, back underway, Mortlock. His handball wasn't as clean as he would have endeavoured, but now just working over the top, and looks like it's gone out of bounds. Maybe a lasso. Indeed it has.
That grimace for me was from... no, the boundary umpire said good on your boundary umpire, but just low percentage stuff from Lakers. They need to think a little bit more than that. Putting your boot to the ball 1 metre before the line, like...
Yeah, it's low IQ footy, unfortunately, in those situations. All it's going to do is result in turnover. As we get back in the way, big tap by Clark towards half forward. Can they get something late? Can they get something to take into half time on the road? Diving in there for Redan was Bushell. It stayed alive remarkably here for the Lakers. Handball over the top. Picks up there by James, and he's caught a nice strong tackle by Lang. We'll get a ball up deep in the right forward pocket, about 10 metres out from goal. We're deep into the second term, only a couple minutes to play.
So, not far away from goal as the umpire gets us back underway. Crellin couldn't quite win it down. Instead, Clark did. Now, trying to clear as James gets a handball out to Jan Stromer, who's working hard on over the top of the footy. Umpire just lets it roll on, puts the whistle away. Gunser tried to spin his way out, couldn't. Now the umpire's going to come in and ball it up. Still not far away from...
It was a big opportunity for Anderson then too to win. Got the
It
footy on
was.
his
He
left
got
side,
free and, yeah,
left
just-
footer, natural side. And he
Just couldn't get boot to ball.
Clark goes inside 450 for this one. Desperate's Barker with the tackle, the veteran. The Silver Fox, if you will hold things up. In the final minute of the opening half of footy, Lake Wendouree were up at quarter time. 5 unanswered from Redan thus far. Can they pinch one late to give him some momentum? Clark tries to do it himself. He hacks it out mid-air and misses to the near side for one of the most unbelievable shots on goal you'll see all season. It couldn't thread the big sticks. It's a minor 3 goals, 9-27 on the Metro scoreboard. Lake Wendouree trail Redan 6-5-41.
It was close, Youngie, wasn't it? I thought it was a goal off the boot.
I reckon Nestroyer and Kunda would have been impressed with that had it converted.
Hello.
But not quite as long. Ball up towards the wing. Crellin for Redan, and he's just hacked it out of there, and it's gone out of bounds on the full. He's it's almost like you're playing junior footy there with the
He's
no
nearly kicked
time
it-
on and
he's
you're
nearly
up by
kicked
2
it-
points.
Horizontal, didn't he?
It's got
Kinda
horizontal to the Saxon house.
I think he thought he was kicking to the Pleasant Primary School.
That's where they warmed up. I think Tristan Ashmore told me before the game. So
Is that the first time you've ever seen a footy side warm at a primary school before a game, Tristan?
Yeah, boys, it's quite an unusual setup there using the primary school oval to warm up, but yeah.
you have to do what you have to do. Is Lake Wendouree, can they keep this one in? So he did the young debutant Blythe, squaring ball. Now roving the crumb is Shearer. Just worked off Wirtz nicely and now centres the footy, although getting back into the drop
Right
zone.
idea, wasn't it?
It was getting back into the drop zone, Daniel Bond.
Desperate hold up here as we approach the halftime siren. Only seconds to go, we've been told. Spearing ball down the line towards the tallest man in Madden. He won't gather. It's slip on into the wet stuff. Crowell will get another opportunity to hack it off the deck to his own advantage. Is there time for Bell to pick up the turn and goal? He lets it fall inside forward 50. Opportunity coming across here for Catley. Is he clean in the below his bootlaces? Michelle's not. Peels for a free kick. Umpire says no, we'll throw it in the air. 50 up from goal as
Nervous moment then for
the
the
slingshot
Lake
again.
Wendouree faithful. It nearly went one into the other, as you said, Sam Young, really quickly.
So 50 out from Redan's goal as the footy's been knocked on to Redan's advantage, but players going to have to pick it up, and they do now. Snap it, goal. Looks really good off the shoe. Yes, on the siren, it's home. I believe it was Daniel Bond who kicked it. And Redan, on the the siren of the end of the second quarter, have just hurt Lake Wendouree that slightest bit more. They'll move to 6-6, 42 to Lake Wendouree, 3-9-27. In fact, it might be 7-5.
7-5.
7-5 it is.
Gee, that breaks your heart, doesn't it? Like yeah, it hasn't been a good quarter for you, but it's 6 goals and 1 with literally a good quarter moments before
seconds left in the quarter. Just needed to get numbers around the footy, force another stoppage in defensive 50. Bond gets out by himself, and when you put the ball
in Daniel Bond's hand, 40 metres out, with no one around him, he's not going to miss that too many times. And great quarter from Redan. I'm sure Mark Gregg challenged them at quarter time, and they've answered in the best possible form with 6 goals. And yeah, Lakers jog off to their change rooms, and they'd be disappointed with that. They're still in this contest though. An entertaining first half.
A game high 20-point margin with that goal on the siren to Daniel Bond. There's 6 unanswered to close the opening half. We're going to take a break here at the City Oval thanks to our number 1 ticket D2E Gym. You're listening to 3BA Footy's Home Ground.
If there's one thing we know about winter in Ballarat, it gets mighty cold. But never fear, PT and the Big Show are ready to turn up the heat with 3BA's Winter Warmers. Head to 3ba.com.au, fill in a few details and...
So Rag Brand sends it inside 50 for Sebastopol. They're 30 metres out from goal. Few plays flew. No one can take the mark. Waiting down low, although dangerous in these situations is Forbes, and he has a look at the goals, and he kicks a right foot snap for the first goal of the day.
One down there by Gertz. Cassidy, strong in the hoops. Sidestep superb. Standing barrel, if you don't mind, to a vacant goal. But he needs the bounce, and he got it!
So Brand sends it inside 50 for Sebastopol. They're 30 metres out from goal. Few players flew. No one can take the mark. Waiting down low, although dangerous in these situations is Forbes, and he has a look at the goals, and he kicks a right foot snap for the first goal of the day.
One down there by Gertz. Cassidy, strong in the hips, sidestep superb, standing barrel if you don't mind to a vacant goal. He needs the bounce, and he got it! level knowledge.
They just need some height, don't they? Like I know, and Grant Bell, he must be mid-30s. I'm guessing at him, and he's still their key forward target at the moment, and still doing super well. But they probably need some support down there as well. But I think, as you said, they've got the fundamentals or the structure in place to be a team that competes for finals next year. They probably just need a couple more pieces.
And, a really strong under-18 and a half program as well. I mean, they always seem to have this really good connection with the private schools in Ballarat, get a lot of kids from bordering from outside of Ballarat to join their footy clubs. So they've always been really good in that space to, find the next generation coming through to help, develop from that 18 to 21. They get a little bit more cream around the top, plenty of points to play with. I think, they'll be a prospect, a team that can go to the next level next year, no doubt.
Yeah, and look, their club in itself, while their netball hasn't had a great year either, they've got a lot to look forward to. They play on arguably one of the best facilities around in City Oval. They've got the new change rooms, which have been long overdue for refurbishment, and nearly finished. As you say, great proximity to the centre of Ballarat, and a really strong junior program. So.
So Brand sends it inside 50 for Sebastopol. They're 30 metres out from goal. Few plays flew. No one can take the mark. Waiting down low, although dangerous in these situations is Forbes, and he has a look at the goals, and he kicks a right foot snap for the first goal of the day.
One down there by Gertz. Cassidy, strong in the hips, sidestep superb, standing barrel if you don't mind to a vacant goal. He needs pocket, bouncing just to the side of the field of play. It was to the advantage of Bond if he could have found his chest. He didn't, and we'll get a ball in 30 metres out from goal.
Rain back on down here, boys.
Since quarter time, Gunser and Mortlock have taken over control of those stoppages. They're just willing themselves to get the ball forward. A really clever little dinky kick from Gunser out of that last stoppage. Lakers need to stop that.
Dangerous spot here as McKay goes in and a host of players jump on him as we'll get another restart, another stoppage. It's been another big theme of today, so we'll go again. And once again, we're going to have another one. Beast to honeypot, in Sam Young's words. We're about in the left forward pocket here for Redan. They really won that second quarter after Lake Wendouree came out of the gate super hard. So Yarnstrom able to pick the footy up off the ground of the contest. Went up the chimney though, not 15. No one could mark anyway. Now at ground level, Clark couldn't quite. Now going in, I think it's Lawson. Snap towards the top of the square, no one's home. Although dropping the mark in a crucial position was Parkinson. He had enough time to pick it up and just clear, which he does. Kicks a long ball, which is bouncing. Words trekking back for Redan. Was he shoved? No, umpire said play on. Somehow Shearer, he got it on his boot. He didn't mean to, it was fortuitous. Got it to Todd, who, well, he tried to kick it up the line and just turns it over with a lasso, I believe, and just a lack of composure and polish there from Archie Todd. They were sort of out Lake Wendouree.
They were, and now
it just came off the wrong side of the
in
shoe.
Redan's hands, so dangerously though.
Barker's going to go all the way to full back to one beast or honeypot sort of stuff as it has been said. 1.5 minutes in this second half. No majors on the score sheet.
Geez, I like Logan Clark. I think he's done some nice things as a young ruckman today.
He has. He had a good game last week. Had 23 and 2, I believe, as he can't quite win that hit out, and it's tough to be slick in these conditions. But the kick does prevail now for the Lakers, close towards the boundary line. Looks like it's going to just stay in front of play in front of the interchange benches. And Lake Wendouree out here. Clark, use Todd or Raven. Can kick it long inside 50, although, again, a lack of composure, a lack of lowering the eyes. And Redan are able to chop it off and take the intercept mark for Sean Mason.
Goes to the corridor. Mark will be taken there by Crowlin as they look to access dangerous areas here of the City Oval. And the umpire's going to say 50 metres. Player did not stand.
Yeah, Logan Clark tried to take the mark off whoever it was that stood it, but just couldn't do it.
As Redan tried to take the advantage, but it's going to come back to Crowlin. He'll be just inside forward 50. Heavy ball right on his limit for Benny Crowlin to line up for, I think, his first major in senior footy.
So going again to that entry from Lake Wendouree, Sam Treasure called it beautifully. All they needed to do was lower the eyes, and there was 2 or 3 players they could have hit up on the chest. Elected to bomb. Redan player marks unopposed.
So a long shot from Ben Crowlin coming up directly in front, just outside 50. In the end, just sets it top of the square. Madden! Full stretch going to take the mark, waiting down. Opportunity clear was Yarnstrom. Goes long towards the outer side of the City over towards the teammate and reach. A little underground kick was clever, and the Lakers will thump a long one through Clark down the line. Can they slingshot it end to end? Getting back in defence there is Lang for Redan. He has men in the corridor. How brave is he in these slippery conditions? Very. And the Lions do get it. Kick from centre half back towards half forward. McKay in front. Big sport boy. Parkinson over top to bring it to ground. Opportunity for Pope. Strong in the hit. He's got boots of ball. Dribbles towards the half forward flank. Madden will get down low. He couldn't quite win the footy at the source, and in the end he has to do the role of defending and wrap things up.
So there is a perfect example of where these two teams are in their development. Just the ball movement from Redan. They're willing to take the risk, play it off, got the ball from one end to the other very quickly.
So first piece of frenetic play there. It is Redan by 20 points on the Metrol scoreboard here at City Oval. We've played 12 minutes in the third term as getting this clearance now. Lake Wendouree, no. Kicked it out. Just didn't have to kick that. It was a Lake Wendouree player, Kai Swartz on debut. Well, he could have just picked it up and walked it across the line, but instead socketed it off the ground for a lasso or out on the floor. I couldn't quite tell either way. It was one of the two. And Redan coming back now. Mortlock working over the top, able to get away a handball now. Immediately wrapped up his gunso, and the O'Connell tackle, and the umpire will come in and ball it up on true centre wing in front of the grandstand here as the rain continues to fall at City Oval. I hope everyone listening is dry in their car at home, enjoying a nice hot chocolate.
Back on the way on the broadcast side, centre wing. Pope, right foot kick around the body, gains 5 metres or so, and in the end, ricochet out of bounds, and another boundary throw-in is the result in these trying conditions for players, umpires.
We haven't had a goal yet in this third quarter,
We
have
have
we?
not. No goals on the Metro scoreboard here in the second half. The ball in on the broadcast side will favour Crowlin in front in the ruck. Hacked the deck there by Bond. Picked up there by Jarnstrom. High left foot kick towards centre wing. Big fly by the Redan defender there in... looks like it was young player there in Mason who couldn't hang on. And in the end, a stoppage is the result. Now, the defensive side centre wing for the Lions. They lead by 20 points on the Metro scoreboard.
Go again. Clark and Crellin. No one won the hit out imposingly, but they're sort of both fisted the ball, and now players wrap each other up straight away. A host of players here at the City Oval. The umpire goes again as the lights have just been illuminated here at City Oval, as Raven working hard in there for the Lakers, but he's tackled straight away from Mortlock, and we go again virtually in the same spot. Roger Legrand.
Yeah, Jarnstrom, I've really liked the way he uses the footy. I think he's a smart footballer. I can see why Lake Wendouree placed a high value on getting him in the off-season.
Fist ball there by Clark, and it was as good as the kickers again. 25 metres for yet another stoppage. For around the grounds for Go Vita, your local store. Spassball taking the lead for the first time this afternoon. They lead by 9 points over East Point.
So, centre wing. Ball went in advantage for Lake Wendouree, and O'Connell at the source is able to get away a kick inside 50 for Lake Wendouree. So, positive signs there right in the middle, and
got the stoppage inside 50. That's
yes,
what they want.
They get the clearance. Now they have a stoppage inside 50, and can they just square this footy a little bit more and get a really good look? So Clark and Crellin. Crellin won the hit out, although first to arrive on the premises was Will Clark for Lake Wendouree, who's been really good today, hasn't he, Rog? He's been one of their real shining lights. He's had his hands on the footy. He's extracted well.
Prominent in the first quarter and quiet a second, but come back with a vengeance in the third.
Raven unable to gather as ball goes corridor bound here for Redan. And the umpire's very fair. He said he's the Redan player in Madden. Didn't dive on the footy, was more just led to the ground ball in the wet stuff. And we'll get a ball up a true start forward for Lake Wendouree. Good clearance come there from Raven as he dumps it inside 50. Diving spoil came there from the Lions as it hits the turf. The tough footed to gather inside that forward 50. Lake Wendouree desperate, unable to gather. Lang, high ball towards centre wing on the broadcast side. Bounces ball beyond an earnest. Cruz gets across. He's unable to gather. Out of bounds. Well, he did go up his opponent, but the umpire said he more exaggerated the contact that he got. And a ball in on the broadcast side, centre wing. Metro scoreboard still reads 7 goals, 5-41. That is Redan. Lake Wendouree, the only score of the term, 3-10-28. But hey, if you blow the sign, then we'll be winning the third quarter of the season 2026.
There you go.
So Lake Wendouree, they trail by 19 here at the City Oval, as working over the top is McKay. Can't quite pick it up cleanly. Pope in there, now spinning, pirouetting is Raven, although he couldn't make contact with the footy either. Now they release a handball, Redan, so they get the clearance close with the boundary line. Bond in a one-on-one with James, and no one really wins it as it just gets nestled out towards the boundary line once again in front of us here in the scorer's box.
Will Clark just slow to get up. It looks like he was grabbing his finger where he just jarred in these cold conditions, and it's going to hurt when it's this cold.
Oh, definitely hurt. And just going back again, just watching Mortlock and Gunser around stoppage for Redan. Just every contest, just in and under, tackle, kick.
Raven lifted, got the clearance here towards centre wing on the broadcast side. Hand pass over the top was more in earnest from Grant. Stiff arm from O'Connell to try to get it across to a teammate. In the end, it's a 1-2. But he took it on the world to Joel O'Connell. He broke one tackle, but he couldn't break the second of Brody Pope. Free kick the other way of the reigning best and fairest of Redan in Brody Pope.
Brody Pope was able to quell O'Connell's quest there to spin through two defenders and advance it forward for Lake Wendouree, but it is going to be Pope. Thought about the short option. So he goes inside 50 for Redan, looking for Madden, who just got nudged off it nicely, but managed to keep it out in front. Working on there was Catley, who gave a 1-2, got it back, sends it inside 50 for shallow entry for Redan. At the front, James for Lake Wendouree came with the fist, trekking after it hard. Asked some Redan boys, and they ended up just killing it over. Just Jock McDougall in his second game, kicked one goal earlier. So quite stagnated play at the moment. We're 50 metres out from Redan's goal here. They're kicking towards the bowls end of City Oval.
Madden just tries a little knockdown over the shoulder, but well read there by Will Clark for Lake Wendouree. Gained some territory. O'Connell this time was quickly to get Boots the ball. Wirtz, the captain backing back, was courageous, did well. Gathers, sends the high ball to half forward. Big fly from Madden. Couldn't quite bring it down. Now it spills out to Pittard. Right foot dumping, kicked right to the top of the goal square. Fisted away there by James and seen through for a minor score. The first score of the second half for Redan. They got a 7-6-42 on the Metro scoreboard. Lake Wendouree 3-10-28.
We haven't seen as much of Pittard. Look, he's had a great season thus far. I think he'd nearly appeared in the best players every time for Redan. He's been a little bit quiet today, but a very different role playing up forward.
So James and Parkinson, the pair for Lake Wendouree, did well to see her behind there. As
Goal square his time again. Put the fist through in these conditions, son. Get it through for a minor.
Exactly.
Redan with the measured pass will go towards defensive side centre wing on the outer side from our broadcast position. Bonds up a long way to meet it and try to get involved. And he'll thump a long ball out towards that centre wing position. Waiting down there. Opportunity for Conlon. He couldn't quite gather for Lake Wendouree. Centre wing outside, virtually opposite our broadcast side will get a ball up.
Just going back to Jarnstrom, who's been very impressive for Lake Wendouree this afternoon. When was the last time you heard a footballer's first name was Alfred?
Wow. Be a while, be a couple of decades.
Alfie, I think he goes by, which makes it a bit easier.
I can't think of any footballer I've ever... No, maybe back to the early 1900s.
So 20 minutes played here in the penultimate third quarter, and we still haven't seen a goal yet this term as Lake Wendouree are able to win the clearance and kick it out and out. This football is in front of everybody. Running on, Todd made a little bit of contact with the footy, but it wasn't what he would have liked. Players now hurrying back, able to get there. Barker working over the top, and they just scramble over the footy for another stoppage, and we're about 30-35 metres out.
Come on, Lakers, you need a goal here.
Yeah, it's Corey Rich time. He was man in the opening turn. They got a couple of goals in this situation. Can he find another one? Inside 50 knockdown was good by Clark. Desperate defence by Redan to hold things up. Red time in the third term. No goals registered, would you believe it, in a quarter of footy.
Have you got a stat for that, Youngie?
I can't tell you the last time it's been a goalless quarter. I'll have to go.
Redan are just owning these kind of under pressure moments, aren't they? Their defence is holding up so strong.
One down there by Madden, deep in defence. Mortlock involved as the ball just ricochets and ping pongs between a few players in there. Clearing kick will come from the Lions. It wasn't going to require a journey. Tough one to mark for Clark. And in the end, the stoppage moved from 30 metres out to about 45 metres out. A good result for the Lions as they continue to hold up.
So umpire wastes no time at all, gets us back underway. So 45 metres out, as you just heard from Sam Young. Coming through McKay. Clears it for Redan. Now races on again. Pittard. Pittard versus Lake Wendouree defender. I'll identify him in a sec. It's Tyson Walsh, actually, and he wins the race. He gets the kick out, clears it. Now Lake Wendouree picking up and dropping the footy. Pope diving in there. Bond as well. And Shearer, they just walk it across the line. And
Shearer very unlucky not to get a free kick there. I thought he'd high contact every day of the week.
Head over the footy first to it. I thought, you're right, Roger the Grand, for One Life Insurance. I reckon he was very unlucky.
So back at the restart, just forward of the centre circle, as streaming through was Pope, though he was taken in a strong tackle, and that's holding the ball. So Lake Wendouree with a chance here. It's O'Connell. Won their last two, best and fairest. Gives the handball quickly to Jarnstrom, who just dropped the footy. Wet, slippery footy like a wet soap, just dropped it. They're able to sort it out for now, Conlon, although he had to handball under immense pressure, and Redan are going back the other way now. Bell takes a mark, 50 out, has a vacant goal square, looks that direction for Grant Bell's fourth. No, it's to the right.
Golden opportunity for Redan, but just goes back to like that class just shines through, doesn't it, at times? And you put the ball in the hands of someone like a Grant Bell. Yeah, he missed that one, but just looks like a class above some of the others out there today.
Well, you see, look at Lake Wendouree's forward line, who've been unable to take a mark really forward to centre all afternoon. Grant Bell just plucks that one out of the air, and all of a sudden slingshot, bang, shot on goal. As Jarnstrom brings it in, and sliding in will be Rich to take the mark deep in the defensive left back pocket on the broadcast side. He'll go long and high down the line to a one-on-one contest. Big ball for Clark against Madden. Madden with strength, got rid of him, tried to inside out Torp, and he'll go in with the shallow entry inside 50. Clever knockdown by McDougall into the advantage of Crowlin running through. Coming the other way though with strength. Last done by was Holmes, and he was collected high. Free kick will go the way of Liam Holmes as he spits it wide for the Lakers.
So Holmes with a quick lateral ball to James. So James in his back pocket. So Lake Wendouree, can they make something of this? There still has not been a goal, ladies and gentlemen, in this third term. We're approaching the 24th minute as James sends it towards his centre-half back, but in there nicely, I think, is Lawson, who holds on for Redan, and he's sets his sights on going long, and good luck marking that one, although Pittard got into the drop zone. No one defended for Lake Wendouree. He takes the mark on his chest, in fact, in the wet conditions. Oh, that's something you just shouldn't let happen as a Lake Wendouree defensive unit.
And you don't get a stat for it, but Benny Crowlin coming across, applying the block on Pittard's man, just to allow him full access to the drop zone. Roger Legrand's the perfect forward craft you asked for.
It was, and something that goes back to probably something that Mark Gregg or Julian Field or Pat Bowden have influenced at training. It was very clever. And allowed Pittard just that very simple mark. But how's the game of Lawson off half-back again, getting that entry inside 50 for Redan?
It's been super. So Pittard for his first of the day, he's 12th for the year. He's been their second leading goal kicker. He'll kick from 30 out on a decent angle. It's on its way. And it's across the face. So he's glanced it across the face for a behind. Had a real opportunity to hurt Lake Wendouree there, did Ollie Pittard. So that brings the score to 7-8-50 to Lake Wendouree, 3-11-29 on the Metro scoreboard.
Armstrong comes broadcast side. Good crumb and wrap around there by Shearer, has been lively across the half-forward line. And a nice kick finds his target. Opportunity to build up here through Logan Clark. Lateral ball in, ball to find Anderson. He has the handball receiving Shearer, but in the end goes on that left side. And in the end, he had his time again. He might have given that handball because he sent that out of bounds for a lasso. Free kick will go the way of Redan.
Just those little 1% or those smaller moments that prove so costly. Had control of the footy, turned the footy over very simply. Ball back with Redan.
26 minutes and counting without a goal as Madden sends it into 50 for Redan. Gets out the back, waiting down. Was Todd, couldn't quite spun in the tackle. Carroll for Redan was able to shovel out a handball. It wasn't sleek, not by design, but it got out there, and now just walking it across the boundary line is Felix Warland for the Lakers for a boundary throw-in. 40 metres out from Redan's goal.
Still no goal for the quarter.
Still no goal. We've got to be getting close to the conclusion of it as well. As on with it was Bronze. Now Pittard, rode for Crumb. Right foot snap. This would be something, but he's missed to the right. Whew.
Gee, real feeling of nervousness down here on both benches, boys. You can see the 5 or 6 head coaches of Lake Wendouree really are not happy with how this quarter's played out.
It's been a contested game of footy all afternoon, Tristan Ashmore, as what's Brandon Poole once saying, let the bodies hit the floor. That's the way I can describe this term. It's been crash and bash all afternoon. As Armstrong will go towards the broadcast side. Clark goes way to the front. Able to get the crumb was Rich. Warland, run out of real estate, will get a ball in. Consecutive behinds. Ollie Pittard has Redan leading the term by 2 points.
For One Life Insurance, Rog, would you take this quarter if you're Rowan Brown or not?
I think given the nature of the third quarter, they've been able to stop momentum, so they have actually had a small win, but you need to apply scoreboard pressure too.
So Crellin tried a creative little backwards lap out of the ruck, but didn't really work as Lake Wendouree clear. And now bursting through the pack is Wiltshire, who bombs it forward, gives Archie Todd the run. Can he get there first? Will it sit up for him? He's running with all his might. Left foot soccer off the ground.
Oh, hit the post.
It hit the post. Almost Lake Wendouree get the first of the penultimate quarter, but it takes
He's done some good things, that young Wilshire for Lake Wendouree.
He's got wheels as well.
Absolutely,
it
some
takes
really
the score to
smart things.
3-12-30, so they haven't really kicked straight either, the Lakers, to Redan on 51.
So Redan go the short ball towards half back on the broadcast side. I had that South American goal voice coming out there. Was desperate with the soccer. Wirtz centre wing, takes the mark, and the ever reliable Jacob Wirtz has it. Right foot kick in the direction of Bond, too tall for him. It slips at the back. Pittard, been lively this term. Look away ball was clever. Picked up though by Holmes. He'll dump out defence. He'll come back with interest. A mark should be taken there by the Lions as they look to gain territory at the 28-minute mark of this third term. No goals kicked 1 minute to go, we're told by the timekeepers next to a spearing pass. Poor one should be cut off and is. Instant grab taken there by the Lakers and by Tyson Walsh.
He's been okay today, Tyson Walsh.
Yeah, he is. Another one who's in that under-17s bracket, super young talent. So kicks down the line, worked off it was Rich. Umpire said play on. Lawson was able to cleanly extract a handball, and now they go forward. Pittard in the contest, couldn't mark. Ball spills to ground. Bond roved it first for Redan, kicked it 20 metres. Oh, James, was he taken eye? Yes, umpire said free kick. Well, front on contact. There's got to be about 20-30 seconds left. If there was 1 minute left about 30 seconds ago. I think my maths is correct. Youngie, take over, please.
Well done, Sammy T. Here's the high ball from James down the lines, picked up by Daniel Bond of Redan. Wallen for the Lakers, trying to get the little ball towards the line again. He's walked over the line. No goals going to be registered, you'd feel, in this term, in a real arm wrestle of a third quarter at the City Oval. Redan on the score sheet, though, leads 7-9 on the Metro scoreboard to 3-11 of Lake Wendouree. One down by Clark, picked up by Bond. Maybe there's time for a Redan mark. Fist to the ground, picked up by Carroll. He's brought to the turf. Diving in was Walsh. It's cleared for the moment. Careful not to get O'Connell high was Bond. It gets out D50. Raven couldn't gather, and the siren will beat Ben Crowell. Flying shot at the goal face that actually did bounce through the big sticks for a goal. He's trying to claim it, but no score registered, says the umpire, which means it's three-quarter time and a goalless third term was the result. Went 29 minutes here. That won't mind Mark Gregg and Redan because they lead on the Metro scoreboard going to the final break. We're going to take a break thanks to number one ticket holder D2E Jim. You're listening to 3BA Footy's Home Ground.
So they've given me 30 seconds.
So Ragbrand sends it inside 50 for Sebastopol. They're 30 metres out from goal. Few plays flew. No one can take the mark. Waiting down low, although dangerous in these situations is Forbes, and he has a look at the goals, and he kicks a right foot snap for the first goal of the day.
One down there by Gertz. Cassidy, strong in the hoops. Sidestep superb. Standing barrel, if you don't mind, to a vacant goal. He needs the bounce, and he got it!
Cooked meat always hits the spot. Or maybe it's just because there's a sauce for every craving that comes your way. Right now, I just want one of those burritos to come my way. Zamrite Zambrero makes the best burritos in town. Taste one for yourself. Dine in, take away, or delivered. Zambrero. Feel good mix.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, bro? I've been thinking. We've been friends for 15 years. I think it's time we take this to the next level. Let's buy property together. Mate, I thought you'd never ask.
Go from homies to homeowners, no doubt. Buy together, borrow separately with CommBank Property Share. Application subject to credit approval. Eligibility and conditions apply.
Right now at Bedshed Ballarat, create your dream bedroom for less at our huge stock take sale. Up to 50% off everything with store-wide savings across luxury, Sealy Exquisite, Sleepmaker and Tempur mattresses. Plus huge savings on all bed frames, kids furniture and more. Everything you need to create your dream bedroom for less. Up to 50% off at Bedshed Ballarat. T's and C's apply. Limited time only. Shop in store or online at Bedshed Ballarat. No one's better in the bedroom.
What hope do we have against cancer? We're researching breast cancer, so Jo survives the same cancer that her mum.
Sure, I can do that. Tuesdays.
With your support, we're finding new reasons to hope every day. Cancer Council. Hope discovered daily.
Want to try this? Tender chunks of slow and low-cooked premium beef you could cut with a spoon. Farm fresh carrots, new baby peas, smoked bacon, and finely sliced mushrooms. All in a country-style sauce simmered and stirred for 8 hours. Served on a bed of creamy mashed potato and a thick slice of crusty bread to mop it up. Want some? I know I do.
So do I. I can practically taste it. That's the power of radio. With 62% of people listening to commercial radio every week, it's where you need to be, and it will show you at your very best. Call us to find out the best way to promote your business or brand that leaves your customers wanting more.
Proudly local and here for Ballarat. That's Ross Street Building Supplies. Locally owned and operated for 34 years, they're your neighbours, not a franchise. From framing, flooring and doors to pergolas, decks, fencing, gates and garden gear, they've got what you need. Backed by friendly service and know-how you can trust. They'll cut it, load it and deliver it fast. Support local, build local with Ross Street Building Supplies. 3 Ross Street, Ballarat, or visit discounttimber.com.au.
Ballarat's 3BA, covering the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League, live.
And welcome back to 3BA Footy's home ground. Thanks to D2E Jeans from Lake Wendouree. You're never too far from D2E. And yes, let the bodies hit the floor was the only way we could describe the third term of footy as the contested footy continued to be the real arm wrestle that it has been all afternoon here at the Over Rochelle Ground for One Life Insurance.
Yeah, let me paint the picture for you, listening at home or on in the car, wherever you might be. So the ground itself is in perfect condition. We cannot see one speck of mud on it, but we've had rain pretty much since the start. We've had moments of sunshine, absolutely. The ball is obviously very heavy. And it's created a stoppage kind of game. So that quarter, we didn't have a goal kicked at all. It just seemed to be a case of stoppage after stoppage. But that was in some way due to the coaching of Rowan Brown from Lake Wendouree too. He forced numbers around the stoppage to try and slow the game down, because he knows that when the ball gets on the outside and into the hands of people like Gunser, Lawson, Mortlock and Clark and Carroll, Redan definitely have the advantage. And so Mark Red's trying to open up the game, Rowan Brown's trying to slow it down, and if I was Rowan Brown, mind you, I'm not criticising, I'll be doing exactly the same thing. Lakers had a couple of good opportunities to kick a goal that quarter and missed, but there are some green shoots from their point of view. You know, they haven't won a game in how many days was it, Sammy Treasure? 665. 665, he can remember that for you. But there are some signs there that I think the wheel is starting to turn, and I think they would come out of the first 3 quarters of today saying we let the game slip in the second quarter, and now we've got the job in front of us in the last. For Redan, Mark Gregg, they've got better as the game goes on. They would just want scoreboard dominance in this last quarter.
Senior coach is almost like car salesman at times. His job to sell the message. And Tristan Ashmore, what was the message to try and sell a belief from Rowan Brown to get the Lakers home?
Yeah, boys, the first thing Lakers coach said was that there was plenty of time left and there was no need to rush. That last quarter they identified that Redan dropped one back in defence, and they were big on communication. They thought their defenders communicated really well, hence why there was no goals kicked on them in that quarter, getting their first win in the third quarter for the season. They just said that the forwards and the midfielders were lacking final third composure. Not enough territory, not enough stoppage in their inside 50. But, as I said before, plenty of time left, game on.
I think that's been thank you, Tristan, that's been the story of the day, probably for both sides, Sam Young, in the sense that connection piece between midfield and forwards. So for both sides, and I know the conditions are not conducive to hitting your forwards on the chest,
no,
but there's just been some moments, and Sam Treasure had a couple of calls in that third quarter where didn't lower the eyes and just bombed it inside 50, and it's been, both sides have kind of been guilty of that today.
Yeah, well, the Lakers particularly don't have like a traditional key forward, if you will. Like Noah Shearer is still a developing talent. That guy is Logan Clark, but with no Tom Zampati, he has to play majority of his time in the ruck. So that for them means they have to, theoretically lower their eyes, try to find their targets, which they haven't adapted to yet. They're still working through that process. And then look at the flip side of it. Their key forwards, Lockie Bond, but he's been held by Cooper James, who I think would be Rowan Brown's number one and his best this afternoon.
100% agree.
Just for the job he's individually done. When you take about the fact that he's probably looking at 3 Henderson Medal votes for his performance against them back in round 1.
Yeah, no, he's been super, Cooper James, and interestingly now he's been kind of tasked with going with Bond when he goes up and spends some time in the midfield as well. So there's been moments where he's been at the stoppage, but certainly he's done his best work behind the footy, and I'm sure Rowan Brown will be really happy with his performance.
He's spent time as an inside midfielder in the past, and you're right, to follow him basically as a direct opponent in wherever he goes has been a fine job, and would be one that would definitely be putting his hand up for our Sporting Globe Player of the Day award if the Lakers can find a way to come from 21 points behind in the final term. It's going to take a monumental effort, boys. Can they kick I'll have to be the only 4 goals in this term, you'd say, to be any chance. A scoreboard of 3-12 tells an ugly story for Lake Wendouree, but there's still a chance. They've had the scoring shots. Can they get it done? Players are in position. Spectators off the field now, man. The National and Sam Treasure will kick us off for the final term here at the City Oval.
Oh, sunshine's poking through. It's a beautiful sight right now, City Oval. Lake Wendouree trail by 21. They want to keep possession as much as they can in this last quarter. Overrunning it straight away was Anderson, and now Bodies jump on top. We'll try again here early in the 4th quarter, as the timekeepers just haven't started the scoreboard here at the City Oval. So now they have. Hopefully they will get patched as we go again. Madden wins down for Redan, although to no avail once again. No one can extricate themselves from the tackle. We'll have to try again.
Yeah, another 30 seconds to start with just a repeat stoppage after repeat stoppage. Umpires had the most touches on the field, no doubt, as Madden just hacks it forward, or more goes sideways than anything out towards the outer side. Pope has to do the role of tackling. Did well not to slam his opponent into the turf for a dangerous tackle, just rolled him nicely, and another stoppage as a result, as we've gone just laterally from the centre of the circle on the outer side. One down by Madden. Kately's been good across half-back, just handballs in hope. Gunser took the tackle, strong tackle that was by Raven. And I've liked him since he's been injected higher up the ground. Been forward to start the opening half, went to the midfield that turn, Roger. And
his tackling's been a particular feature of his game.
Just been able to put a bit of grunt at the footy. Hacked forward by the Lions towards half forward. Both players trip over, and then the Lakers defender was impeded by McDougall. Free kick go the way of James Parkinson.
So Parkinson the other way. He was dropped last week, but he's back into the senior side this year. He's got about 30 players in front of him. He's going to go long down the line in front of the grandstand, looking for his ruckmaning Logan Clark, although the kick was too shallow and has been fisted out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. In front of Saxon House here at City Oval, the Seagulls are flying. It's quite a quintessential day as Roger for Go Vita. Got some scores?
Yeah, so Sebas maintained that 15-point lead over East Point. Ballarat well up on 79-21 in front of North.
Wow, that's a big result in terms of the margin with Ballarat over North Ballarat. Kately again with the disposal. Umpire said it was touched the boost, won't pay the mark to Wendouree, but they'll go to half forward. Todd in front, dropped the tough mark with the helicopter type kick. Kately tried to make some men with the hand pass and was good to Lang. He'll go inside with the little ball to find Bushell. He dumps it towards centre wing. 2-on-1. One almost wins. Cruiser slipped over. Strong in the hips though. Handballs in forward in hope in the Pittard direction. Hacked at the deck by Cruiser and out of bounds will go for a lasso free kick. And it'll go the way of Lake Wendouree.
Yep, so Walsh, who is right on his defensive, he's just out of his defensive paint of 50, sends it up towards the wing, and Clark did well to work his opponent out, just couldn't quite put on the finishing touches and hold the mark. But now tracking after it is Jared, who's 1-2 twice off the ground. Now trying to pick it up out the back is Todd, and the umpire's paying a free kick to Redan. I didn't actually see what that was for.
No, it's for pushing it back. I don't think it was there. He just kind of held his ground and... Anyway, it's a tough day to umpire.
Lang from half-back, high ball towards centre wing on the broadcast side as neither sides fail to flinch to start the second half, and handball off to Kately again for about the 4th time in this term. He'll dump one towards half forward. Big Fisto's up came from the Lakers, waiting down was Holmes, handball and hope missed his target, slapped back in the corridor by Redan, was tough ball for Gunser to win. He had to go back.
He's tough, Gunser, isn't he?
He's won the free kick.
So tough.
Put his head over it, won a free kick for high contact, so Rory Gunser to get us back underway, pretty much in the middle of the beautiful City Oval here. Long left foot kick, inside 50 it will go. Bond used the body well, he just couldn't hang on the mark. Hits the deck, Pittard with speed, dribbling ball, shut the gate, game over. Wonderful finish by Ollie Pittard from the boundary, and Redan get the one through the big sticks.
So that quick ball movement again is when Redan look at their best. So again, just Gunser, head over the footy, well called by you, Sam Young, cop one high, goes back off his mark, and a beautiful left foot kick into 50, created space for his forwards, everything that you would want on a day like today, and that speed that we've come to know from Ollie Pittard stands out and just snaps it round the corner for a beautiful little goal. So he's showing us a little bit of a different role today, Pittard. We've kind of become accustomed to him as a wingman, but he's shown a bit up forward today and certainly had a better second half than he has at first.
Yes, he has, Rog, and that's his first for the day for Ollie Pittard. He's 12 on the year now. That runs his tally as Back underway, Shearer able to give the handball inboard to Raven, who sends it inside for Lake Wendouree. So can they get the quick response? No. Mark taken by Lang, immediately going back the other way now, Redan. Here is Pittard, that last goal scorer, wheels around, gets onto his right shoe, kicks towards the arc of 50. He's let Daniel Bond have to run on, and Bond's got space here. He can have a shot if he wants, decides to pop it up instead, and it was the right option because streaming off his line, taking the mark.
So it's Lockie Bond in the lead.
It looks like it is. We'll get that confirmed to you in a sec. It is Lockie Bond who's tucked up in the right forward pocket, but Daniel Bond, he had the smarts just to pop it up instead of going long, and they can also milk some more time off the clock. So Lockie Bond, Redan's leading goal kicker this year. This is a tough shot. He's going to go off the drop punt, and this will just about seal the deal. They lead by 27 now. He's on the runway. Kick is on its way. It's across the face. It might have missed absolutely everything. No, it is a behind. So Lockie Bond just can't quite sink the knife deeper into the heart, but that does move Redan now to 8-10-58, leading Lake Wendouree 3-12-30 by 28 points on the Metro scoreboard. 5 minutes played in the last term.
Armstrong long towards the broadcast side. Ball bounce at the back. Foot race on in earnest. Warland with the first one there. Clark unable to gather. Slap forward there by Redan to Cruzeradas. Inside 50, the kick will go. Fisted away by the Lake Wendouree defence. Handball at centre forward for Redan. Pope, high ball, laterally. Pittard unable to mark. Quick to get back to his feet. Ball in dispute. Lawson strong. Broke one tackle. Then handballs in Hope in the direction of Gunser. He's unable to get to there. Hacked at the deck by Lake Wendouree. O'Connell around the body. Needs a chest. Got one. Shearer. And they go. Kick towards half forward. Leading the race will be Todd. Needs to sit up for him on the bounce. Todd against Lang. Lang did well not to lose his feet. Todd dives on top of it, and the umpire says, give it to me, I'll throw it in the air.
Geez, Lang's been good today. Like, I'm sure Mark Gregg would have him in their best players. Just some smart things. He won't lead possessions, he won't lead spoils, but he'll certainly lead things like 1%ers and tackles.
So a tenacious start to the last quarter is back underway here on the arc of 50 for Lake Wendouree. Couldn't quite pick it up cleanly was Grant, but now Redan do get the clearance away. So they go towards the centre wing. Oh, sidestepping was McDougall in game 2. Thank you very much, but now he's taken over the line for a boundary throw-in. Bit of frenetic play here, Roger Legrand, to start the last quarter, which is good for spectators because the third term was a bit stale, if you will. And
yeah, no, look, it's just been contested footy, and it's what you would expect on a wet, cold day.
Centre wing broadcast side. Both Ruckman Holdings, the wave play on. Madden will get the tap. Then he is able to pick it up and just handball forward in Hope. Grant off the deck will just gain territory down the line. Might be able to go a second time if he likes. Picking up the Lakers. Yarnstrom's hand pass. It's picked up by McDougall. He dumps it inside forward 50. It's Tash at the boot, so play on for Bond. Right foot kick around the body. Will dribble towards top the goal square. Ballard will lead the race. Sockers it to his own advantage and maybe to his own teammates' advantage. It's still alive. Bond again. Right foot snap. Got the bend and got the bounce and got the game. Right foot snap pops between the big sticks, and the Lions move to 9-10 and 64 on the Metro scoreboard. Lake Wendouree stuck in that 3-12-30.
Some, the cream is rising to the top. They say it often does. Some very tired Lake Wendouree bodies right now, and it's starting to show plenty of hands on the hips. This is where Lakers, as a team, yeah, the game's beyond them now. They can't win. But they don't want the score to blow out, do they, Youngie? No. They don't want to suffer a 10-goal loss. They want to try and keep it at most this maximum margin. So it becomes actually, this last 10 or so minutes becomes really important for them.
Yeah, it's just about finding an avenue to goal because you kick 3 goals in the open term and haven't got one since. It's about showing that with your back against the walls, you can still find a way to score.
Exactly, and just fight through those difficult situations because they haven't shown enough in just those stopping that momentum today, for me.
Still lots to play for. So Madden in the ruck for Redan, just volleyball punches it away. Gunser picked it up, was immediately dealt with in a strong tackle. And we will go again here, still in the centre square of the City Oval. Still in the heart of the City Oval, and it's provided a good game of football so far from 9th versus 10th. Redan just holding on. It's going to be a massive mountain to climb for Lake Wendouree as footy still bobbling around, and another stoppage.
Raven, again, I'd like to see the number of tackles he's laid today for Lake Wendouree. He's tried very hard.
One there by Crallon. Clearance to go the way of Rich, though. for Lake Wendouree towards the outside. Gunster got the crumbs for Redan and just hacked the forward, inside forward 50 for the Lions. Bond out the man with good clean hands. Caught an immediate tackle. Umpire said legal disposal, got rid of it. Carroll unable to do so. But it was held without it, said the umpire. And a free kick sending the other way of Redan for that free kick.
Looked a bit kind of fortuitous, but you get in and under first, you deserve them from my point of view. So in that case, Redan first the footy, won the contact, won the high free kick.
So long shot coming up for Bailey Carroll in the midway through the final term in what's been a wet, cold afternoon of footy at the City Oval. He'll shoot from right on 50 with about a 45-degree angle to deal with. Carroll, a few spins the Sharon in his hand as he makes his way to the goal face. Steps inside the paint, right for kicks on its way, right to the line it goes, and it's marked! Marked by the Lions on the goal line. Cardinals sin, and shot on goal, and another goal coming up for the Lions.
Big Will Madden.
Yep, just too big, too strong, and in the end, disappointing for Lake Wendouree not to get a fist through. Madden converts, but they have 10-10 on the score sheet. They're running away with one at the City Oval.
So 9 goals to 1 since quarter time.
And that's the disappointing thing, Roger Legrand, for One Life Insurance, is that to be up at quarter time, to be in the contest for as long as Lake Wendouree were, when you say a stat like that, you go, oh, from the outside looking in, Redan firmly in control. Bad start, turned it around. That's not been the tale of the story from everyone who's observed the game from bell to bell this afternoon, but that's what the scoreboard's unfortunately going to reflect.
And we spoke so highly in the first quarter of effort and contest, and they had a terrific first quarter, the Lakers, but since then, I don't think every player on that ground from Lakers could look each other in the eye and say that I delivered on effort and contest. And I know that sounds quite harsh, but I think there's been some moments where if they could get back to that spirit and that determination they had in the first quarter, it would take them, they'll be able to play better football for longer. No one's expecting them to play that level of football for all 4 quarters, but the drop-off has been significant.
And on the flip side, it's good news if you're a Redan fan, because they're absolutely playing their hearts out down this fourth quarter. We've had 7 individual goal kickers. There's a holding the man free kick going the way of Lake Wendouree and of Will Clark, who went without it, and he wants to move it on quickly with his left boot and finds Wiltshire very nicely. Nice laced out pass there from Will Clark as Wiltshire's 65 out from home for Lake Wendouree. He'll pop a high one towards the top of the square, looking for Rich, can't quite bring it down. Going in there was Mortlock, who's met with straight away and tackled, but we're only 10 metres out from Lake Wendouree's goal on a slight angle. It's a bit left of centre as the umpire gets us underway quickly. Rising, Clark heard the voice of a teammate, but didn't really tap it to anyone.
And look who's in and under again. So the Batman and Robin, Gunser and Mortlock today, they've been extraordinary at their source.
One of my Crowlin in the ruck, pretty much unopposed actually, as Lakers keep it contested inside forward 50. For Go Vito, your local health store. Sunbury 12-5, 77 lead. Darley 12-4, 76 in the dying embers. That one there at Clark Oval. We'll keep you up to date with other scores from other games. Right foot snap come from the contest from the Lakers is missed.
Young Wilshire again. Just finds himself in good spots, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's, from what I've seen from him today, you play him every senior game for the rest of the year, no doubt about it. He's just got a little bit of something about him as a target forward for them in season 2026.
And another one, he's in that 18.5's age bracket, just playing his 5th senior game, so he's one that they want to hold on to because he has a bright future ahead. Like many of the Lakers players, it's just going to take time.
Back to where we're on the grounds by Go Vita boys. Hepburn look likely to take their first win in a long time. 22 points over Beaufort.
Up the Hepburn Boroughs.
That's big news brewing there. Thank you, Tristan, for that update, and we'll keep you posted with other Central Highlands updates as the day rolls on. As Lawson kicking out here of his defensive 50 for Redan, kicks it up towards the interchange benches, working close with the boundary line. They're able to get away a hurried kick, and now foot race is on. Trekking after it for Lake Wendouree is James, who's first to arrive on the premises. Repels back with a handball. Now Lake Wendouree can send it forward towards centre half forward. Anderson couldn't quite mark. There's a host of Redan players waiting down low for the crumb, and it was Pope who picked it up and kicked it from centre half back to centre half forward for the Lions. Coming forward now. Couldn't quite dispose it cleanly, Redan player, and Raven on the flip kicks it towards Lake Wendouree, and they're able to sort this one out with a neat little handball out towards the debutant James Clark, who sends it forward for Lake Wendouree one-on-one. It's Wirtz up against Wiltshire. Wiltshire wins out. Handball back. Tucked up in the pocket. Squaring ball. Looking for Jarnestrom. Can't quite hold on. Down low. Clearing ball just for now. Come from Mason. Not out of defensive 50 or danger yet, Redan, as Lake Wendouree are just trying their absolute hearts out to kick this goal and just couldn't quite prevail there.
So that little bit of composure we saw from Lake Wendouree, and yes, it didn't come off, but the idea was right. It's exactly that forward connection that they need.
Handball off to Lawson from Pope, and goes back to Pope. He dumps it down the line, and Mark is taken there by Redan and taken by Pittard. With reality is Lake Wendouree this season just unable to take a mark inside forward 50, which makes it so hard to generate fruitful shots on goal, as the Lions now go inside their 50 with the kick. Bouncy ball will be picked up there by the Lakers. They'll clear for the moment. Waiting down will be Clark for the Crumbs. He'll go over top with the hand pass. Armstrong will flick it wide, and the left foot kick was clever. It was in the end just knocked forward by the Lakers and with momentum. Picked up there by Lawson coming through with speed, and be a contender for the Sporting Globe Player today with how well he's gone across the half-back line. Timo Farentagi was pressured over the line. We'll get a ball in.
Lockie Clark's slow to get up there, boys. It's in the hands of the trainer now.
Big knee to the back. Nothing worse as a defender, I reckon.
And on a cold winter's day, he'll be feeling that for not just the rest of the afternoon, but probably for a few days to come.
Boundary throw in. Centre half forward for Lake Wendouree is over the back. Crellin just fitted about 10 metres in Redan's advantage as Clark went in hard for Lake Wendouree. Couldn't handle cleanly, but picked off the ground by a Laker who sends it towards the arc of 50. Spun in the tackle was Wiltshire. Redan get the clearing kick for now through Lang, but it's looks like it's going to be a lasso. Yes, it is. So Lake Wendouree quickly on the flip. Kick inside 50. Waiting down low. Mason. Good strong hands from the youngster. Takes a good mark in defensive 50.
Only playing his second or third game, Mason. And again, he's done enough to hold his spot, that's for sure.
Long high ball towards the outer side. Brought to ground by the Lakers defence. Picked up nicely there by Pittard. Go right foot kick around the body towards the half-forward flank. Big spoil at the top there came from Parkinson out of bounds. It will go. So approach 16.5 minutes in the final term. Redan 10-10-70 on the Metro scoreboard. Lake Wendouree 3-13-31. Thanks to Metro for that update. And in the end, the Lakers just the 7-8 behind now since quarter time on the scoreboards. The story as a quick kick forward by Redan was only as far as the Lakers' defence, who clear for the moment, were caught in a tackle, and then they'll stoppage the result.
Might cross down at Tristan Ashmore. Just saw Madden hobble off the ground for Redan. Just to check in on him, Tristan, please.
Yeah, he did look a bit sore coming off. I'll keep an eye on that one. But the vibe down here is that everyone's just ready for a hot shower.
I can understand why.
So, Bond, dinky little 10-metre kick for Redan, puts him inside 50. His handball now comes out from the Lake Wendouree defence. As kick out of panic, just a bomb towards the wing from the Lake Wendouree defence. Waiting in the best spot for it to take the mark was Zach Lang for Redan, who can put him inside 50, and he has a neat little ball which was precise to McKay, and McKay one more in the chain. They swing with some nice ball movement there to Redan. They're going to have a chance now to go back and kick their 11th goal of the day. About 45-50 metres out from goal is young Jacob Catley, who can kick his first of the days. Played mainly in the reserves this year. He got the call up this week, and, well, I reckon he'll back himself from here, Youngie.
He's had a good afternoon too, actually, across the half-back line. It's probably the best senior footy game I've seen him play.
Yeah, I think he's played a good game.
So can he top his day off here with a sausage roll? He's on the runway, starts his jog, kick is on its way, and it's been absolutely hit horribly off the boot. It hasn't even made the distance, first of all, and it's spilled out of bounds for a boundary throw-in, actually, next to the left behind post.
It's the old cliche, you kick like a backman was the thing. I'd say he might have found his spot for his rest of his footy career.
Well called, Sam.
As they'll get a stoppage inside forward 50, the Lions, to go to work. Bond in the rack. On the fly, Gunser around the body. It's touched by the Lake Wendouree defence and through for a minor score. 10-11-71 on the Metro scoreboard. 40-point game-high lead for the Lions over Lake Wendouree's 3-13-31. It's going to be an honourable loss.
Well, honourable to an extent. Like, how long do you sustain the honourable? It's second bottom versus bottom. You started the game really well and fallen away badly is the story of the day.
28 weeks in a row, the Lakers will go down in the Ballarat Football Netball League as the ball has gone towards the half-back line, and that guy's going to let it roll for a second, but that's stoppage.
And that's the way you need to look at it, and that's the way Roland Brown, and I'm sure, like, I know he's a positive coach, but at the end of the day, you're playing the second bottom team, and your first quarter was super. You need to be better than what they've been the last 3
It's prevalent,
quarters.
though, that the second halves have still eluded them. They haven't got a stranglehold over this second half at all today, and you said, Youngie, they haven't won a third quarter this year, so...
Or a fourth.
So, yeah, there's just a little bit of Carltonism in that, I think.
It's just an easy thing, Roger Leone, for One Life Insurance, for to go to the KPI board for Roland Brown and say, boys, next week we're going to try and win the second half. That's your goal.
Yep.
Just a simple one.
So in front of the grandstand here, Gunser roved it, but couldn't get a clean kick away. It was smothered immediately and wrapped up again for another stoppage. A ball up in front of Saxon House now, and just forward of centre, favouring Redan as the umpire. Left-handed. They've been a really well officiated game today, I thought.
I agree.
So, that's going to be a lasso. So off the boot of Bond.
And I've liked Bond's game. I know that we spoke about Cooper James's role, but I think he's been very good.
So yeah, unpretentiously off his boot. He didn't mean it. But so going forward for Clark, big contest with Lawson, couldn't hold on. Few cries for a free kick. Lang will bang it forward for Redan now. They go back forward of centre now. Pittard roved it nicely. Second attempt, was able to get a hurried kick away. Now trekking after it is Conlon for Lake Wendouree. Has to be good here. He's got quite a few Redan lines on his hammer, and the kick has just been muffled along the ground, and they might work out somehow. No, they've turned it over a second time.
I know it's tough conditions, but the skill level has been a real issue for Lakers as the mark's taken inside 50 by Bell.
And it's even, I think it's more the composure piece to that too. Youngie, he had more time there than he took, and he just hurried the kick and turned it over quickly and came back in with interest.
But that's the thing, it's academic that the issue they have is composure and ball use. Especially in the second half, they get more and more tight, and it gets harder and harder. They continue to turn the footy over. Right foot kick comes in for goal. It's a way to the left. Might not score the result. Redan 10 goals, 12-72 on the Metro scoreboard. Like in the race, 3-13-31.
But we don't want to take anything away from Redan either.
No.
Since quarter time, they have genuinely been good, and some of their best footy would compete with sides up above them, that's for sure.
So kick off the ground for Lake Wendouree. They get it inside their forward half, and then Todd is worked off it. Lang picks up for Redan, wants to go laterally. Diving in was Pope, was able to tap it onto advantage nicely for Clark. So Redan go inside 50 again, close to the boundary line. Pittard's got a tall task. He's got 2 Lakers to outwork and can't. Now, scores in the AFL, ladies and gentlemen. The Crows got the win over the D's at the Adelaide Oval by 17 points. And right now, Carlton and GWS quarter time, the Giants are up by 5 points in that one, Youngie.
You seem slightly upset about that, Sammy Tees. But back underway inside forward 50 for Redan, trying to add more bang to their buck for the afternoon. Lakers will handle into a flat-footed Parkinson, will clear for the moment. It'll come back with interest. Right foot kick was partially smothered off the boot from Redan by Catley. Still alive. Clark gets down low, spits it out wide to a teammate in Conlon. He'll dump a high footy towards centre wing. Lakers their mate, they get one.
And it's that man again, isn't it? Wilshire.
He's been... The lone hand is a key target that kicks poor on occasion to Harry Lawson. Takes an intercept grab. He'll look to laterally come across the city over towards the broadcast side. Mark taken there by Roddy Gunser, and he'll spear one towards the middle of the ground. Can they continue this run on? Pope will go inside 50 for Redan. Big fly at the top came from Bond. He was unable to complete the mark. Hacked off the deck there by the Lakers, but it's going to go out of bounds, is it? Was it touched? Banjo was on the spot. Well, big decision to make. He says it was touched.
He actually slipped over on the banana peel, so...
He did. Around the ground to go by. This is very interesting. Sunbury and Darley level 17 minutes into the last quarter.
Well, they haven't been able to beat him in the last 4 or 5 attempts. Sunbury. A draw is not the result that Matty White be looking for.
That's an enthralling contest getting unearthed as Lake Wendouree are able to clear this ball with a high bomb. No one can mark. Now at ground level coming in was Clark, who's immediately wrapped up for a ball up. Right on true centre wing here at the City Oval. It's a dark and gloomy setting now. There's a few spectators looking onwards on the big concrete here. Most are undercover as Gunster at the stoppage for Redan bombs it out of there. He's been gallant today, as have a lot of Redan's boys, and that one's close to the boundary line, and it looks like we are going to get a Lasso free kick.
On Rory Guns, he's had a couple of looks at the VFL this year for
No doubt
Geelong, and one thing I really am impressed with the Redan Football Club, even you look at their social media stuff, is how well they promote their players to want to play at the higher level.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that he's been able to get that opportunity with the Cats, and I think he'll get more to come and continues to find form that he's having in season 2026.
He's been great again today, that's for sure.
Beats to a honeypot stuff as Kalina kick comes for Ravens across goal, but it's to no one in particular, which only opens the door here for Redan inside forward 50. Opportunity for Daniel Bond to steady shoot and goal. As easy as you like. It was a very strange option to come across defensive 50 to no one in particular. A poor kick ends up in a goal for Redan.
And again, they win the clearance. Gunser, Mortlock have gone to work since quarter time. Bond's been super in the second half, and his ability to kick goals as opposed to behinds or find targets has been good. He'd certainly been the best 3 or 4 players on the ground since quarter time. And
the game's now changed to 23 scoring shots, and the Metro scoreboard is 16, and the margins ballooned out with some accurate kicking. And it's a shame because Wendouree have been in the contest for so long, but Redan continue to have that polish and class.
That class, and
that's to go that little bit further in season 2026.
100% correct.
Bond has 2 now. Daniel Bond, that is. Is high free kick going to get paid here for Redan again. It's going to go the way of Bailey Carroll.
We've heard the old term, the mercy rule. It might be turned into the Laker rule in second half.
So they're going to go forward again here for Carroll. He's donning the long sleeves today, and it's a good day for that attire as he goes straight up the spine, inside 50. Presenting nicely was Bond, although out the back. Can't quite break free. Tackled immediately. Ball up 40 metres out for a Redan goal.
And Mark Gregg would take a bit from today. He was obviously at quarter time pretty disappointed with how they were tracking, but since that, they've been absolutely dominant.
Sammy T says, good day for a long sleeve. I was playing, it'll be a good day for a puffer jacket out there. He's back underway inside forward 50. For Redan trying to add more pain to the Lakers. Right foot snap comes from Pittard. Needs the off-break bounce. Got the leg breakers through for a minor score.
And he's certainly stepped up his game since quarter time as well.
And in a different role, when you think about it optically, it makes sense. It's a wet day, contested footy, probably not going to suit the outside wing. You see, go forward, you get more damage with him with some bang your buck going forward.
Took a while to work into it, but certainly been good since quarter time.
Jarnstrom weighing up his options, kicking out a fullback for the Lakers. Decides to go up the left side of the ground, which is the Sturt Street side of the City Oval, but it's going to come right back in for Redan. They come inside 50, although coming off his mark nicely was the Lake Wendouree defender who just absolutely bombs it, gets it out of there. Foot races on. Raven versus looks like Bichelle, and Bichelle wins out. In fact, it's Jock McDougall, and he has class on his second game to lower his eyes and find Crellin nicely. 2 new inclusions this week. So in the corridor, Crellin goes up the line, is able to find his target in Daniel Bond, the last goal kicker. 65 out from home. He's going to go for a short chipping ball as well. And, beautiful. Beautiful play. Maybe a bit of lackluster defending from the Lakers. Presenting out nicely. A nice little chipping ball to Lockie Bond, who can shoot from 45 metres out. The sharpshooter, who is Redan's leading goal kicker this year.
Yeah, the Bond brothers have been super again for Redan, and in the final minute, just that leading pattern again just shows that Redan are going about their methodology perfectly to close out this win.
They are, and handy players are both the 2 playing today, and Taj.
Bond trots in, kicks on its way, and it's good. It held its line. So goal for Redan. That sends them well into a nice healthy lead that they'll be proud of today. Lockie Bond's just done that damage. We've played 28 minutes in the last quarter. Kicking one from 45 metres out. Lake Wendouree haven't kicked a goal since quarter time, I should say. It takes Redan to 12-13-85. Lake Wendouree 3-13-31 on the Metro scoreboard.
Yeah, look, full marks to Redan in this last quarter. I'm sure the challenge was set. Let's try and kick 4 or 5. They've certainly met that, and they've looked the better side, that's for sure.
Redan will go back to back as we're back underway here at the City Oval. Big tap by Clark out to the vacant centre wing of the broadcast sign. And able to pick it up was Daniel Bond to the first attempt, but he's able to shovel out there to Bouchel. Handle off the Pope. Now to McKay, dumping right foot kick in the Pittard direction. It's fisted out of bounds as there's only moments to go to close out this game at the City Oval. Told a handful of seconds, maybe time for a quick kick and mark, and for the Lions only, They run out victors for the third time in season 2026, the second time this year against Lake Wendouree, and the second time in a row after their 1-point win last week over Melton at this very venue. Back in the field of play, one down the ruck, and the siren will sound. And the Redan Lions are 54-point winners on the Metro scoreboard this afternoon. In what turns out to be, for One Life Insurance, Roger, again, comprehensive fashion when you look at the electronic scoreboard in front of us. But it was a game that the Lakers did put in some efforts and some growth throughout the afternoon.
It was certainly more competitive in the first three quarters. Obviously, the last quarter, Redan got away with it. No, I think there wasn't even a goal kicked in, or one goal kicked in the third quarter. So, but once Redan kicked to that Peel Street end, or they just took over, and the class of their top line players stood up. You know, I spoke numerous times of Gunser, Mortlock, Lawson. Lang was very good off half back. Madden was super competitive throughout the day in the ruck, and then, you know, the Bond boys were able to take advantage up forward, certainly in the second half, and kick goals. So a really pleasing performance from the Redan point of view. It'd be a while since they've strung 2 wins together in a row. For Rowan Brown at Lake Wendouree, you know, there's a lot to take out of a really positive first quarter. They led on the scoreboard and looked the dominant side. They were well on top in clearance. They were well on top in 50 inside 50 entries, but just fell away. And, you know, unfortunately, at the moment, with where Lakers are in their development, that's where they're at. They're just not able to stop the momentum swings that sides like Redan get against them. They're not able to maintain effort and consistency for longer. I think they'd actually be pretty disappointed with that quarter if the truth be said. You know, and I said before, they're playing against the second bottom side on the ladder, and yes, they lost Antonak before the bounce, who's, you know, if not their best player in their top 3, and lost Fordham during the week, who's also a gun. But you've got to work with what you've got. Redan themselves have got their own injuries. Big Taj Bond, as I mentioned before, he broke the leg in the interleague game, and they were able to get away with it. So good news for Redan, a good result for them. They did what they had to do. For Lakers, yeah, green shoots in their first quarter, but I don't think they could be content with an effort like that on what's been a difficult day.
I'm interested when, you know, to hear the song today actually and see how Redan respond, because they would have been really flat, their supporters, after the quarter time. I thought, oh no, like, I think there's a little bit across the league, no disrespect to the Lakers, but you don't want to be the side that loses to them. And I reckon there have been some nervous moments at that quarter time address for Mark Gregg. But then to turn around the way it did, I wonder if they're going to be gusto or relief. That's sort of like the words I'm looking forward to today, to see how they really cap this win, because it's on paper and optically you look at it, you turn around a quarter-time deficit to win by 10 goals. Sounds fantastic, doesn't it, Roger Legrand? But when you're playing against the cellar dwellers of the competition in the last couple of seasons, you expect to do that going into the game.
They did what they were expected to do, but at the same time, like even their position on the ladder, they haven't won many games this year as well. You've got to celebrate, be it against the bottom side or not. And they've got a number of young players in there who would be, you know, probably celebrating one of their first times they sing the song, you know, in the senior side. So, yeah, I absolutely understand. It's a game you probably don't want to play when you play the bottom side like Lakers, who haven't won for so long, because all you can do really is win. But, you know, Lakers were in